Good morning. Welcome on in. DJ and PK on this Friday. Today's DJ's last day off. He will be back on Monday. Well, we had some football to talk about, particularly for BYU yesterday, as we were all down at their media golf tournament and had an opportunity to talk to some players and coaches and do all that fun stuff, and it was a good time. And maybe we might tell you a little bit later who actually won the golf tournament. Can you believe now, 50 years, what they're doing now is they're celebrating the 1976 football season. Oh, wow. And one of those guys is a local guy named Kelly Harris. He played offensive line for Giff Nielsen and talked about the differences between the program today and the program then, and weightlifting, what weightlifting was about back then, and how they introduced Nautilus. It had just come out. You know those machines you see at the gym. It was revolutionary at the time. So Riley Jensen, who's been sitting in all week, and I talked to Kelly Harris, talking about all that stuff that went on then and what's going on now. Here you go. Joining us now is Kelly Harris from the 1976 team. Let's put that down by your mouth there so we can hear you. All right. 50 years ago, you played BYU football, Mr. Harris. Can you believe it's been 50 years?
Long time ago. It's I have to kind of just look around and be thankful for it, that on this side of the ground.
There you go. You're standing upright. What do you remember 50 years ago about BYU football and compare it to how huge it is today?
Well, I mean, I was in Lavelle's first recruiting class, so it was all new territory. I had known Tommy Hudspeth because he had a son that played high school ball with us at Provo High School. But it's nothing like it was back then, which is good. Look at the progress that's happened over the years. And it's nice to feel like you were part of something that grew it that way.
Oh, yeah, to the levels that might be considered unimaginable for some people. I don't know about you, Kelly. Kelly Harris from the 1976 team joining us. When Coach Edwards was going through his retirement, he announced it early in August during training camp that season would be his last season. So a lot of questions, and I was a sports writer for the Salt Lake Tribune at the time, so I was covering the team at that point, and he was getting a lot of questions about, what memories he's going to have. And and he said it consistently. He always said the same thing when anybody would ask him the question. The thing that he was most proud of, it's hard to remember all the wins and all the experiences, right? But he said that the thing that he was most proud of is that he made Saturdays in Provo, Utah, and the surrounding area, he made it an experience. Game day for BYU football became an event where it hadn't been. Is that something that you were able, and those were in the early days, to be able to experience?
It still is. Yeah. I mean, to be part of that, and it was always something special. But to see where it's progressed from in 76 to where it is now, there's nothing comparative except the feeling. The feeling is still there. And it was always kind of just a magical time on a Saturday afternoon, most of the time back then.
Yeah.
You played. I believe you played offensive line. Is that correct?
Yes, offensive tackle.
See, this is why I like you already. But I like to inflict a little bit of pain on my cohort here.
Uh-oh.
Do you remember the Arizona State game where you're down 21-10 and then stormed back to win?
Grad, so. They had to pick the 76 team.
Tell me a little bit. Tell me a little bit about
Devils in Provo.
Beating down the Sun Devils. Tell me a little bit about that.
It was huge. I mean, that was really our signature game from that year, and really propelled us into a situation to be bowl eligible and to then eventually go to the Tangerine Bowl. So,
right. And in all seriousness, I was a huge fan growing up here in the state of Utah. Now, I was only 2 in 1976, so I don't remember
that
you
really
as well.
Makes me feel good.
But my earliest memories are like Mark Wilson and Jim McMahon.
Yeah.
But Gifford I mean, Gary Scheide gets a lot of credit, but Gifford was kind of the one that like really started to like give the name to the BYU quarterback.
For sure.
What was it like playing with him? Was he everything that everybody says?
Gifford and I grew up together. We played against each other in flag football starting in the 4th grade. But then in junior high, where we came together, we did all sports all year, went to Provo High, played together. There were actually 5 or 6 of us off our high school team our senior year that ended up going to BYU and playing, which it was not a pact, but we kind of all decided that would be a fun thing to do together. And so, yeah, I've known Gifford forever. In fact, I just talked to him 20 minutes before I got here. He's down in St. George today, but
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Kalani Sitake. He is a true disciple in virtually every sense of the word of Lavelle Edwards. They'd had a couple of coaches that were not so-called BYU guys. They weren't Lavelle Edwards guys. They didn't play for him. And so now you have a direct connection for somebody like you who played for him. And now here we are 50 years later, and you have somebody who played for him, would have been, probably 15, 20 years after that. What does it mean to so-called have a BYU guy running the program for people like you who went to Provo High, played at BYU? You're obviously a BYU guy through and through.
Yeah, it's special, and it feels right. That's not taken away from any of the other coaches that have been here, but
right.
But it just feels right, and Kalani has embraced a lot of the things that remind me of the way Lavelle approached things, which were not the same. I mean, I think prior coaching staffs were trying to differentiate themselves rather than embrace the past. Yeah. And I really feel like Kalani's done that.
Yeah.
I think just personally watching Kalani for that one semester I was at BYU, the one thing I can say about Kalani, lifting was optional under Coach Lavelle. It was really surprising to me because every other place I'd been, like if you weren't in the weight room, he just kind of treated you guys like men. One of the guys that was always there was Kalani Sitake. Yeah. Every time I went to the weight room, every time I was working out, like Kalani was there. And he's such a hard worker, and I think he really looked up to and even emulates today Coach Lavelle. But I think one of his best talents is to be able to connect his team from 1996, that was such a great team, the past, the future, and he's just a great ambassador. But he's also a really good recruiter and a really good football coach.
It's funny you mentioned the weightlifting, and when you say it was optional with Lavelle, yeah, they'd kind of point and say, "There's the weight room."
Right.
I mean, there was no conditioning, weightlifting coach or anything like that. But my junior year, the '76 year, they purchased Nautilus equipment, and the only other program in the whole country was Miami, the University of Miami, that had Nautilus equipment. It was a new thing. And there was a circuit of about 10 machines that you'd roll through. And boy, was it scheduled. You had your time that you checked in at the door. There was a coach there that checked your name off. There was a coach at every station monitoring your lift. And it really changed at that point as far as how weightlifting became part of the program. And it certainly grew from there, but that was really the start.
That wasn't until your junior year.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I mean, I probably didn't lift a weight until I got to BYU. And, you know, in high school, there were a few weights in the wrestling room that you never went in. You want to stay as far away from the wrestling mat.
Yeah, because they're going to make you run.
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy to think of. Yeah. That there's been that much advancement and how important. Now you go to high schools and they have massive weight rooms. They look like college weight rooms.
The weight rooms in any high school program, probably 4A or up in the state of Utah, is bigger than what we used to have at BYU.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy to see that. You okay with BYU has made a massive investment into the football program. As a media member, I love it to see how that's going down.
Yeah, I mean it's fun, it's exciting, it generates a lot of fan interest. I think it's a wonderful thing.
Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you talking with us this morning as you, I guess they're honoring the 50-year team.
Yeah, if I can just shout out any of teammates from that 76 team, we're looking for you. We've got a dinner and a game on the 11th and 12th of September. Reach out to us and let us know if you want to come.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, BK. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, that was Kelly Harris. Now, we got a current player we want to get to. And BYU, a lot of expectations coming up, particularly the offensive line. Andrew Gentry is coming up next. Stay with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Good morning, man. We want to tell you about what we were doing yesterday at BYU. Had a golf tournament down at Timpanogos. Maybe not the best course, but nevertheless, a good time was had by all. And before the tournament, we talked to one of the starting offensive linemen, Andrew Gentry. We'll get to that right now. The funny thing is, everybody knew about you, and Jim Harbaugh recruited you. We all remember that story, blah, blah, blah. And you leave Michigan, and then a bunch of guys from Utah, the state of, go to Michigan.
Yeah.
Tell us that story.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, for me, I feel like it's a pretty surreal, almost full circle moment, right? To be at the University of Michigan for 3 years where there was no Utah connections, no connections to the church, nothing like that of the sort out in Michigan. So you're really you're different out there, right? You're definitely in a different world. And then, to come to BYU to make the connections with Coach Hill, with Coach Gifford, all these different people. And then all of a sudden they shift to go to Michigan, right? Yeah. And they're in that new world. And I remember having conversations with Coach Hill after he had taken the job and him discussing some things with me that he had seen at Michigan, even just members of the church out there that he had known now and all the connections that I had made out there. So it was cool to see that aspect of things. And it's kind of crazy to look over there now and talk to my old Michigan teammates and they're like, oh, yeah, your old defensive coordinator's now coaching me. And so kind of a full circle crazy moment for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So here you are at BYU starting offensive lineman. Expectations, I would think that's something that you would embrace because obviously they're extremely high, and I think you'd rather have that than not.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a great spot, and I think the cool thing and the shift from this year is you look back at BYU over the past few years and expectations are not very high in a lot of standards, right, whether that be as a team, as an offensive line, whatever it is. And now to come into the season with expectations high is a great thing. Either way, to us, it doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, what the media says, what people are saying about you, it doesn't matter because all that matters is how you play on a Saturday. But it's great to be able to show up and to have these expectations because pressure's a privilege and we'll rise to the occasion.
So as an offensive lineman, I'm just thinking for all the young quarterbacks that are out there, right? I think you've mentioned that, Bear just garners instant respect.
Yeah.
What is it that you're looking for as an offensive lineman in a quarterback when you're looking for that leadership? What is it that you like to see? What is it that you think stands out about Bear in particular? And then what do you think with the great quarterbacks you played with that helps them to be on your level or someone that you want to play with and be around?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, as an offensive lineman, our main goal is to always have the quarterback's back, right? To make sure that no matter what situation, we're protecting him and that's our job, right? Is to protect the quarterback, protect the running backs, do everything we can to protect them. So from a quarterback's perspective, I love it when you know that they have your back as well. Because I've had some quarterbacks, I've played with some quarterbacks in the past where that's not necessarily the case. And
it's just all about them.
It's all about them, yeah. An offensive lineman makes a mistake, and they're going to just chew out the offensive lineman really fast. And so one thing I love about Bear is, obviously we're never going to play perfect, right? As a whole team, it's never going to be perfect. We try really hard to be as close as we can, and we're going to protect Bear with everything we have. But at the end of the day, if somebody makes a mistake, somebody gets beat, Bear's not just going to turn and start chewing out the offensive line. I mean, there's never been a quarterback that's gone a season with 0 sacks, right? And hopefully we can be the first this year. But, that's just not how the game of football works. But when you can have a quarterback that you know is going to have your back, that's not just going to turn his back on the O-line, that's what I love, right? Because then you know that you can trust him, he can trust you, and then it just makes things so much smoother.
Andrew Gentry, returning starter on the offensive line for the BYU Cougars, joining us here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Also, too, we expect a lot out of Bear because this is his second year, but you have the returning offensive player of the year coming back in L.J. Martin. That's got to be something that you look forward to, opening some holes for him.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the great thing about having a great running back is it opens everything up. When I played at Michigan on that national championship team, we had Blake Corum in our backfield, and you have Donovan Edwards in the backfield as well. And so when you have weapons like that, it forces the defense to be honest, and then it makes great quarterbacks as well, and vice versa, right? When you can have a great rushing attack and a great passing attack, which we will have this year, it opens up so much because the defense has to play you honestly. They have to bring guys up to stop the run, and then we'll throw it over their heads. They have to play guys back because we've got great receivers and a great quarterback, and then we can run the ball for 6-7 yards with LJ all the time. And so it's just an incredible duo to have back there of a great passing game with Bear and our wide receiver core, and then with LJ back there. It's going to be a great year for us.
We were talking yesterday a little bit about the BYU offense and how much you can open up the playbook and not. And I kind of feel like it depends on your players, and it depends on, early in the season, you push some of those limits to see what you can do. Is there anything different about this offense this year? Is there anything different that you guys think that you'll be able to do offensively, both as a line? First, answer that as a lineman and with your group, and then answer it a little bit more broad with the offense.
Yeah, I think the great thing about the O-line this year is there's a lot of cohesion from last year. We all know how to play with each other. We know each other's strengths, each other's weaknesses, and so there's a lot of trust that, one of the great things in offensive line that I've seen is when you don't have to say anything, but you just know what the guy next to you is going to do. It helps you play so much faster. And so as an offensive line, maybe not as much that we're trying new things this year, but we can play so much faster that I think we can call a lot of plays that might be tricky for a new offensive line to run, but because all of us have starting experience, whether that's at BYU or at different schools, and all of us have played together for a while, we're going to be able to play so much faster and so much quicker. And then I think as an offense, that's just the case in general as well. I mean, just like we talked about, it's Bear's second year. I mean, LJ is the best running back in the country. And so we just have so many different options that we can play together and do different things. So, but at the end of the day, it's still football, right? And we've had a lot of success as an offense of what we've done and what A-Rod has drawn up. So, without giving too much away, I don't think we're going to change too much up, right? Just because, what works, you don't want to change up. But at the same time, I'm sure that we're going to open up the playbook a little bit just to utilize our strengths of what we have this year.
What's interesting is, you hear that players and coaches, they're not interested in any preseason polls. They're not interested in any media opinions about what is said about them. Maybe they might use it as motivation if it's negative, but that's not the case with BYU this year. There's very little that's being said that's negative. So that's over here, but at the same time, you guys know what your expectations are, and so since you 2 years ago tied for the regular season, didn't get in on a tiebreaker. Last year you got in. We know you lost to Texas Tech. So now it's basically a conference title game, maybe even playoff or bust. I mean, that's what I got to believe you guys are thinking. But at the same time, how do you keep your focus to make sure? Because that's still 3-4 months away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a process, right? It's a process-driven team. It's a process-driven sport. And so every day you have to look at it as, what am I doing today to become the best version of myself? And that's what we look at BYU. That's what Kalani preaches. That's what all of our coaches preach, is every single day doing the little things that are going to make you the best. But at the same time, you have to have the vision that that's what you're going for. And for us, our vision is a national championship. That's what we're shooting for. That's what we want to do, right? And that needs to be talked about. That needs to be said, because if you don't believe it, then nobody believes it, right? If you don't believe that you're going to do it, then you've already lost. And so for us, we full-heartedly believe that we can win the national championship and that we can go win the Big 12, be in the playoff, and then go win. Because that's what we've been working for. That's what we want to do. So, yes, at the same time, you do have to stay focused on the process. So right now our process is, let's go have a great fall camp so we can beat Utah Tech week 1. And so that is our focus, because if we don't do that, then we're never going to reach any of our goals. But at the same time, we're always talking about how we want to go win a national championship.
I like that thought process. I always tell the teams that I work with, the athletes that I work with in sports psychology, if you don't have a vision that you can be an all-conference player or an all-American player, and if you don't, as a team, have that thought process that you can win a national championship, well, then I can give you the Riley Jensen guarantee that comes with a warranty that you won't.
Right.
You're never going to win it if you can't see yourself doing that. I want to ask you just a technical question. This might be a little bit too geeky for some of our listeners, but when you guys make calls for protection, is it your quarterback that calls it, or is it the linemen that are calling the protection calls at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So, I mean, we have a bunch of different protections that we already have in our playbook, right? That will be part of the call when we get the play call. And so that'll tell us if it's a 5-man protection, 6-man, 7-man protection, whatever it is. Then from there, it's on us as a line. And so
the line does it.
The line does
like
it from there.
I just know from playing that, a 4-4 front is different than a 4-3 because a lot of times the center has to work to the left or work to the right based on the running back.
Exactly.
So when that happens, you get a 4-4 look or an even look, your center is the one making the call to left. Exactly. See, because I always liked it when I called it as a quarterback, because if I miss the call and my jaw gets knocked off, I'm not going to miss that call again.
Right.
If the offensive line misses it, they'll help you up, and they feel bad, but they might miss it again. So I always put it on the quarterbacks instead of the linemen to make the right call.
Well, it's a good thing when we have Bruce Mitchell playing center because he doesn't miss very often. He's pretty good at getting us in the right spot, and that's the other thing, too, is we've got a lot of veterans on the O-line, too, that we help each other out, and Bruce is the one making the call 99% of the time. But when we can help him out with that 1% to shift it, and at the end of the day, Bear can override anything. So there are times where Bear will get up there and he can override a protection, but 95% of the time it's Bruce making that call and us helping him out.
That's kind of fun. I just love that part of the game. It's the chess game, right?
No doubt.
And then there's always the little tandem calls that you guys are making with the guard and the tackle. Like, you'll see a corner coming off, and you're like, hey, I'm going out to this guy. You got to slide out here. I mean, there's just people don't understand how much talking is going on between those 5 guys up front.
It's a lot.
And then Bear has to time it out and snap the ball, and you guys all have to then go in the right place.
100%.
It happens so fast.
It does. It's a whirlwind that you got to be ready for, and that's why film is important. And Coach Woods does such a good job of that communication piece and teaching us the game so you can make those calls and play confidently.
It's the best chess game in the world.
No doubt about it.
And here I thought, and I played freshman football in high school, I thought you just have to knock the guy in front of you on his butt and you're good to go.
Well, there is some real truth to that too, though.
There is.
As much as we want to complicate it, it's still about blocking and tackling.
100%. That's what it is. Just beating the guy in front of you, and you can win your one-on-one matchup.
Yep.
Then you'll do pretty solid.
Andrew Jensen, offensive lineman for BYU. Did I say Jensen? Gentry.
I'm
Jensen.
Jensen. He's
You're
Gentry.
Hey, it's great. Thank you guys so much.
I want to throw one more at you. You already talked about Bruce as your center, and I was going to hit that, but you guys took it in depth way better than I could anyway. And you got Utah Tech as a non-conference game. And normally the way the schedule plays is that you play your 3 non-conference games, then you get into conference. But because of the Notre Dame game, that is in October 17th, I think it is. Everything had to be jumbled around. So you get Arizona, which had a phenomenal season last year. You get them at first conference game, which is only in the second week, and then you play some conference games. Then you go back into non-conference with a national power. Obviously, you lived in the Midwest. You know all about Notre Dame, I'm sure, and all that they have involved there. Just speak to the schedule of how you get a big-time conference matchup, 1:30 on national television at home in week 2, and then you got to play, and then you got to go regroup, get a non-conference game and all that, because it's a little unusual.
Yeah, definitely unusual, definitely different, but at the same time, we've been trained for this. Our strength coaches do a great job of keeping us on our toes in summer workouts even, to the point where we know that change is inevitable, right? That it's going to be different. It's not always going to be smooth. So I'm excited for it. I mean, because you got to be in mid-season form by the time week 2 rolls around.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
by the time week 1 rolls around, right? I mean, playing Utah Tech, and then my best friend is the right tackle at Arizona, so I know how good they are. He is, yeah. So
how'd that work out?
We played at Michigan together.
Oh, cool.
And then we both transferred at the same time. He went to Arizona, I went to BYU. So now it's fun that we get to, we had the time at Michigan together to be teammates, and now it's playing for bragging rights, and I'm up 1-0 on him, so trying to make it 2-0
The good part is in that rivalry is that you guys are playing at different times, so you can make fun of him while he's playing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Really?
I can
Really? That's
him
your
on the
best
field.
set right there?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, Andrew, I am an ASU grad, so you must win that game.
There we go. Let's do it. We can do that.
I'm going to ask, I'm just one thing.
Yeah.
Just beat the Cats on the second week of the season.
And beat down the Sun Devils, because I can't stand it when they win.
No.
Being around PK when they win is obnoxious.
We're not going to talk
Beat
about
them
that game.
down.
We can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. And you a golfer?
I like to swing it a little bit. I wouldn't call myself a great golfer, but I can hit him.
Did you get an opportunity to play Barton Hills there in Ann Arbor?
I never got a chance to play there. I played on the UMich course a ton, though, right there.
Okay, yeah. That's a country club. I've played golf with Whittingham a bunch, and I know he's wants to play there. And that course, I think, opened like 1911.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's some golf history out there for sure.
Yeah. All right. That was Andrew Gentry. Now, what about the guy calling the shots? All right, calling the shots once the team gets out on the field. Just heard Andrew talk about how the offense, you got the center, Bruce Mitchell, but that ultimately the play call, if it's to be changed, any adjustments that they need to be making at the line of scrimmage boils down to the quarterback. Well, Riley Jensen played quarterback in college for Utah State and on Snow College, and we're going to talk about that coming up next as far as what Bear Bachmeier can do. Stay with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Good morning. Welcome on in on this Friday. Well, Bear Bachmeier is a sophomore. And what's it going to be? What's going to be some of his changes that we might see? What type of improvement? Or they're just going to do a lot of the same stuff. Give the ball to L.J. Martin, let him go. He was Offensive Player of the Year in the Big 12 last year. Why would you not use him, obviously? So we're going to talk some quarterbacks, particularly Bear Bachmeier going into his sophomore season with Riley Jensen. And here you go. Talking about quarterbacks. And talking about Underwood there at Michigan and how he was a starter as a first-year freshman. And what did you say? He had 11 touchdowns and 8 picks. And he's going to have to be better this year. And you believe he will be. Well, certainly he's going to have to be with that awesome powerhouse schedule that they've got that Michigan faces this year. And that's the same situation with Bear Bachmeier. He comes in as a first-year freshman, and we know what he does. And this year, I relate it back to when Aaron Roderick was on our air, offensive coordinator for BYU, and he was talking about the increased expectations for Retzlaff from his junior year to his senior year. Now we know he had the other issues off the field there, so his senior year didn't materialize at BYU. But Aaron had set some extremely high standards for Retzlaff going into his senior year in terms of completion percentage and whatnot. Now, what do you think that, and you know Aaron Roderick pretty well, his level of expectation would be for Bear Bachmeier going into his second year as a full-time starter?
Well, I one of the things that I think is interesting about Bear Bachmeier, like just recently, he had like a Mount Rushmore tweet of his favorite, they interviewed him, I think, at Big 12 Days.
Big 12 Media Days, yeah, you're right.
They asked who the Mount Rushmore was. It's all running quarterbacks. It's Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
It's Cam Newton. It's Johnny Manziel. It's the only true passer in there was Joe Burrow, and he was the last one. Right?
Joe Burrow actually has been working with Underwood in the offseason there for Michigan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
one of the things that I think is the next level thing for Bear, and Bear, watching Bear play quarterback, he's one of the most unique. He's a really unique quarterback to me in the sense that he's built like a linebacker. He kind of walks like his gait.
His numbers
his numbers are linebacker.
I understand he dropped some weight this year,
but he's not your typical quarterback, and he loves to run the ball. I think A-Rod would like to just have I think if A-Rod could draw it up perfectly, he'd call for Bear to run on 4 to 6 plays, and then Bear would scramble on 4 to 6 plays. That would get him between 10 and 12 run plays. Well, 8 and 12 is really what I think it would be. And 8 and 12 runs a game would be much more comfortable for A-Rod than some of the games where they've been in a rivalry game and he's running it 20 times. Because they got to keep him healthy. The other thing that I think, and I know that I've said this ad nauseum, so please forgive me if you've heard me say this before, but I think the biggest part of growth when you're playing college quarterback is you have to understand the moving parts in the middle of the field. The easiest throw to make when you first come into college football, right, is a fade down the sideline. It's a rollout and throwing an out. It's an out to the closest hash mark. It is a screen pass. It's those bubble routes. Those are all easy. He throws those really well. He has the arm strength to make any throw that he needs to make. But one of the things that I noticed in the 2 Texas Tech games that were disturbing to me is when he threw over the middle, I'm almost positive, and I haven't asked A-Rod this, so I don't know for a fact, but I'm almost positive that Aaron was actually having to tag who he was throwing to because they were taking away all the outside throws and the streak balls. And they're like, no, we're going to make you read the middle of the field, and you've got to figure out how to do it. And he threw some costly interceptions in those games. And he had some accuracy issues because he wasn't as confident as he could be in the middle of the field. So when you're talking about young quarterbacks making growth and growing into the quarterback that you want him to be, that's where I think he's got to get a lot better. Is he's got to be able to make the throw over the top of a linebacker and in between a safety. He's got to be able to make a whip linebacker who's like the weak outside linebacker's life just miserable, because if he drops back, I'm going to hit the underneath. If he comes up, I'm going to hit the guy over the top. If he blitzes, I'm going to hit the guy right behind him that's running a slant. He's got to be able to throw over the middle with a little bit more intentionality and deliberateness. Now look, anybody can go watch the film and they go, well, I can show you where he threw. Yes, but it's not comfortable. There are some throws that he's made, and he's making that effort, but it's got to be a lot better this year for them to take the step that they want to take.
So how do you get that? I mean,
more reps, film study, working with A-Rod to understand what it is that you're trying to do on each play. Like, what do you really want from me on this? Now, that's where I think the consistency of A-Rod being in that program for longer and longer and longer now is.
Oh, yeah, he's been there many years now.
I mean, look, I played for 4 different offensive coordinators in 4 different years when I was in college.
That had to help.
No. I mean, it helped. I'll tell you where.
Some variety in life.
No, well, I'll tell you where it did help me is I have a lot of breadth and I have a lot of knowledge about offenses, because I had a guy by the name of Chico Canales, who coached in the NFL, coached at NC State. He was my contact that got me to NC State. I played for Ed Larson, who was the 3-time state champion down at Lehigh, best offensive coordinator I've ever had. I played for Bob Petrino at Utah State before he was falling off motorcycles. And then and Norm Chow when I was at BYU, and then for Dave Arslanian. So I actually had 5 offensive coordinators, now that I'm naming them off, all really, really good. So it gives you some breadth. It doesn't give you any depth. So the key with A-Rod being there is that he's getting the depth of like what this offense can be. Mm-hmm. So I see him making those steps this year, but he also has to make those steps. So, but I don't see that as pressure. Like me going out on the microphone here and saying, hey, Bear Bachmeier has to be better over the middle of the field. I don't think he would listen to that and go, wow, this guy's being a real jerk to me. I think he'd be like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm working on.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going to take my game to the next level. And then the next part of what I'm talking about here that's really, really important that keeps the chains moving on drives. That keeps you on the field longer as an offense. It keeps you in this ability to keep these big playmakers off the field in the Big 12. And you're driving to score a touchdown on a field goal instead of going 3 or 6 and out.
Yeah.
And now you're giving the ball back to some big-time players on the other team that can score points against you.
Do you think that Aaron Roderick unleashes the playbook? I mean, we expect that, but I'm wondering if that really happens. Because you can't go into it and be reckless just because you're a second-year starter. You haven't necessarily proven it yet.
No, I think every year when you're an offensive coordinator, I've done offensive coordinating in some way, shape, or form for like almost my whole life. At least since college, right?
Yeah.
You put in what a quarterback can handle, and you put in what your receivers can handle, because like there's certain things some receivers can do. Like every once in a while, you have a really, really cerebral wide receiver that it doesn't matter what defense they throw, whether they have a 2-high defense, a 1-high defense, a man-to-man defense, they know exactly what route they should run and how they should run it to get open. Every once in a while, you get those. But there's teams where you have really, really physical and athletic wide receivers who can't read a defense. And so everything has to be scripted for them. And that makes the offense a little clunky in the passing game sometimes when you don't have guys that are cerebral wide receivers. And I don't know the wide receivers personally down there. I know they've lost a bunch of wide receivers. I'm hoping that there's a couple of cerebral ones. They don't have to, and those guys that I'm talking about that are cerebral, they don't have to be the biggest burner. It's like, I just spaced his last year, number 2 for BYU.
Chase
Roberts, very cerebral. Wasn't the fastest guy. Wasn't a burner. Wasn't the guy that like could get behind every defense. Very cerebral and could find the holes in the defense to get himself open and make himself really, really valuable. Very cerebral receiver. Do they have somebody like that this year? I hope so. But all of that has to be taken into account for A-Rod when he's deciding to open up the playbook or not. Is L.J. Martin healthy? Is he running the ball effectively? Is the offensive line opening holes for him? And there's a lot of things that go into whether you really open up the playbook.
Yeah, because that's what I'm wondering, because they've got the situation where they got Martin, who was the offensive player of the year last year in the Big 12, which says something to me. That says a lot.
Why do we not talk about him enough?
Because it focuses so much on the quarterback, but I get your point. This kid, and I love the way he runs. He runs so smooth, man. He's not really a herky-jerky guy, man. He just looks like he's gliding as he runs.
He's really good. My brother and I were talking about BYU football the other day, and he brought up LJ. He's like, why doesn't anybody talk about LJ? And I actually think it's because he makes things look so easy and smooth.
Yeah, I think he does.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, he makes hard runs look really easy.
He's a glider, not a runner.
The
way he moves, his body seems to always be under control, and his personality is like that. The guy has no flamboyance to him whatsoever. He's for a star, he's about as low key as it comes. You're dealing with guys like they had Jamal Williams. The guy, I mean, that guy is, and he was great, no doubt about it. Played many years in the NFL.
However,
but he's as flamboyant as they come.
Yeah, how many guys are going to compare the story of the Good Samaritan to the Bloods and the Crips?
Yeah,
that's Jamal Williams.
I mean, he was a great interview. Always a smile, always laughing. Reminds me of a Devin Dampier, only more over the top than Devin. Devin is a great interview, too. He's always on top. He's always on his game, and he's always in a great mood. Life is great. I'm getting paid to play quarterback at the University of Utah. What more do I want? And he's just a charismatic guy. Jamal Williams was that way, too, at a higher level. You talk to LJ, and he'll give you good answers, but he's so
not flamboyant.
calm. No, but it's so reflective of the way he runs. We used to see like Reggie Bush would come off with these startling plays. How did he do that? LJ, you don't necessarily say how did he do that, but he's just as productive.
But that's what's so fun about great players, though. I mean, Tom Brady was like this. Drew Brees was like this a little bit in the sense that the great ones make really, really hard plays look easy. They make them look like one of the things that I talk about with quarterbacks all the time that people don't realize is a swing route to your running back is not a very easy throw. And it's one of those throws that makes you look really bad as a quarterback when you miss a swing route. Like when he's running straight away from you to the sideline and you throw the swing route. Guys like Tom Brady and Drew Brees and these great quarterbacks, they make those throws look like it's like stealing candy from a baby. And then you see a quarterback that misses it, and we all want to kill him. I'm telling you, like, that route right there takes a lot of practice. When you got a big dude who doesn't catch the ball as well as your receivers does, running full speed away from you, he's got to turn his head around. You have to throw it perfect every time. And when you don't, it looks really, really bad. But when you do it all the time, everybody's like, oh, yeah, I mean, that's what you do. You throw a swing route for 8-9 yards to the sideline, and it's not an easy throw.
With L.J. Martin on the team, that's why I keep hearing all the playbook's going to be open. Bear's going to be unleashed. He's going to be uncaged. And I'm thinking, well, wait a second here, man. Is that really true? Won't we see a lot of the same stuff that we saw last year? Because it worked, first of all. It clearly worked. They won a ton of ball games with him. And you have a kid like a Martin who he has opportunity to set the all-time rushing record at BYU. Is that what it is?
Yeah, so he had 1,305 yards last year. That got him within, he's about 1,300 yards away from the all-time leading rushing record. And
Who is
considering
the all-time? Curtis Martin?
Curtis
Curtis
Brown.
Martin.
I mean,
It's not Curtis Brown. It's actually
Is it Harvey?
it's Algier, I believe.
Algier got it?
Yeah, Jamal took it from Harvey. I think Algier
Okay.
then reset it. He has a situation where he didn't play essentially the entirety of the Iowa State game last year. Remember how limited he was in the first Texas Tech game. I think he had 1,300 yards in, let's say, 10 games roughly last year.
right.
Yeah.
He's a full 12, 13, 14 games this season. He could run away with that record.
Ah, Yock's got him in the playoff. I see what he done there.
What's the hope?
He's just a good.
Isn't that the hope, though?
He's
for
a
them
really,
it is, yeah,
He's
no
a
question.
really good player.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I don't know. That's my whole point. I don't know that I expect more out of Bear because the offense, as Kalani says, get me in the end zone. I don't care how you get there. Just get me there. And so why wouldn't you take it? I think we might be overestimating Bear's progression. And it's nothing against him, but it's more, especially with the receivers being a collective unknown compared to what they were last year. Now, they were still, if you look at it last year, at the beginning of this time, nobody had any idea, at least I didn't, that Kingston was going to blow up to the level that he did and was almost a 1,000-yard receiver. And we're going to pick anybody, we're going to pick Chase, thinking that that's the case. And we knew, I believed Carson Ryan was going to be a good player. That wasn't a surprise. He'd been around enough to know. So I'm wondering just how the offense is going to look. I want to see Bear do what he did last year, maybe at a little higher level, not necessarily do a lot of different things compared to last year.
For the second time in my life,
You agree with me?
I do.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, I mean, it's true, though. Like, you can only open up the offense so much.
Yeah.
There's some things that I think hold the offense back as far as, like, throwing the ball next year. And so I do think you're going to see a lot of what you saw last year.
Right, that's where I'm
Of
going.
Bear and LJ running the ball, establishing the run game, being strategic and surgical in your passing game.
Well, I think the big story to take out of this segment, as we know, that Riley Jensen has been right at least twice in his life. I think that's the most important thing.
Isn't it what they say? A broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, a squirrel finds the occasional nut.
Well
Yeah,
played, Patrick. Well played.
All right, man. A lot of stuff they get going on next week for BYU. Utah starts Monday. Weber State's already having practice in about an hour, or no, about a little over a half hour, the bottom of the next hour. We're going to talk to Eric Kjar, the Weber State coach. Stay with us. We'll get to that. Coming up next is What's Trending. Get you caught up on all the headlines, what's going on in the world of sports right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is What's Trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NFL.
Oh, boy, Baker Mayfield. He felt, quote, disrespected a little bit. I listened to him, man. He's right there on the grounds after practice with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Could not reach an agreement on a new contract of his imposed deadline at the start of the season. It's in training camp. And so now he's saying his agents were not presented with an offer that's appealing whatsoever. Said he hopes for a new deal. Have to wait after the season. He's going to show him, man. He wants somewhere around $50 million annually. Oh, he laid it out there on the line. If you're a franchise player and this is what you do to me, oh, you ever feel disrespected, Riley?
Oh, yeah.
By your employer?
Plenty of times.
Okay.
Why do you think I want to be my own boss now?
I don't know.
Because I felt disrespected quite a few times.
Okay.
But I do think, listen, I think guys like Baker Mayfield, I think Tom Brady did this. I think these guys manufacture things to put a chip on their shoulder. This is just another thing. Look, Baker Mayfield has bet on himself 100 times in his life. And probably like 98 of them have come through. So this is, to me, this doesn't feel outside of Baker Mayfield's character at all. This feels like, okay, this is Baker. And this is how he motivates himself. And this is how he talks to himself, and this is how he gets himself prepared every year. He'll have a good season.
I don't think he's that good.
You really don't?
No, I think he's average. I think he's a lot of hype.
I think he's above average. I don't think he's
Maybe
average.
slightly.
He's third in passing yards and touchdowns the last 3 seasons in the NFL.
Yeah, I just don't think he's a winner. You can stat me to death all you want.
Well, and that's why.
What does he want?
Well, that's why sports is fun. Is you get to have that opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you
He's
know,
fine.
I think I told
I
you
don't put him
in a
in
break.
the upper tier.
I told you in a break the other day. I watched Miller Moss and Tanner McKee at a quarterback workout in California 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. I had so much quarterback envy. Those guys are journeyman quarterbacks in the NFL. They are never going to be like an upper tier quarterback in the NFL, and they were just slinging the ball around the field. So I just have a tremendous amount of respect for anybody that's in the NFL.
And that he is.
Now, whether you want to mark him as, you know, top 15 in the league or not, or top 10 or what, like, that doesn't matter to me. I just have a ton of respect for him.
Okay. I think that's fair. New Orleans Saints receiver Chris Olave signed a 4-year, $132 million contract extension with $90 million guaranteed. Oh, the deal. And it's his brief hold-in. I'm tired of the hold-ins. I don't like hold-ins. Hold out or participate. Now, these hold-ins.
You don't like it where they're negotiating and then still coming to practice?
Well, no, but that's not a hold-in.
What is it?
That's negotiating and still coming to practice.
Okay, that's fair. You just don't call it a hold in. Like, yeah, he's negotiating his contract.
And Deebo Samuel is on the move again. Oh boy, this is going to give DJ a big thrill. He must have quoted the name Deebo Samuelson about 5,000 times. How long was he in Washington? 1 year? 2 years?
1 year.
Yeah, that's what I
He
thought.
got
Just
traded
1
last
year.
offseason there, and now he's
And he's
right back in
okay.
the Bay.
I mean, a 1 year, $7 million.
Talk about overrated. I think he's overrated.
Oh, there it is.
Hey, it's my opinion.
I'm fine. I don't have any problem with that. So he's back and see what he can do there. All right, college football.
College.
Hashtag college football.
U.S. Senate adjourned for the week yesterday. Of course, they don't work Fridays. We do, but they don't. Them dogs. Without scheduling a vote for the Protect College Sports Act. Makes it unlikely that it will happen before they take a month-long vacation. Month-long vacation? This is the U.S. Senate. You don't get a month-long off.
Oh, they do.
Go play local politics, buddy. That's my, what Dan Hawkins rant on the Big 12. Or the Big
Oh, yeah. What did he say?
It's the Big 12. He's one of those guys. The guys wanted more time off or something. He knew.
It's Division I football. It's the Big 12. It ain't intramurals. You got 2 weeks after finals. You got a week in July 4th, and you got a week before camp starts. That's a month. That's probably more vacation than you guys get. And we're a little bummed out that we don't get 3 weeks. Go play intramurals, brother. Go play intramurals.
Was he talking to BYUI students right there?
He was talking to Colorado media, and he knew that the end was near. See, I always thought that when they're getting ready to start the Big 12 title game, the big screen down in Dallas, you know, it's huge, or with the Cowboy Stadium, I think they should play that.
It's Division I football. It's the Big 12.
And then they take the field.
But they don't have, but like, I don't know that they have that kind of sense of humor on the Big 12 level, do they? Like, does anybody like Big 10, Big 12, SEC, would they have that kind of humor where they can like, it's Big 12 football?
That gets you fired up, man.
I actually think it's genius what you just said. But I also think I just can't see the upper-ups doing that.
I know. Kyle Whittingham, quote, hopefully we can put the drama to bed. I don't know that I would use the word to bed. That's just me, with all the stuff that's been going on with Michigan. He downplayed the Ohio State rivalry and Vitriol. Drew comments from fans about it, whether he understands it. We'll get to that. And Belichick, he avoided making any comments about embattled GM Mike Lombardi, who was on paid administrative leave while being under investigation for an HR complaint. Okay, NBA.
Hashtag NBA.
Oh, boy. Portland, Oregon, and the Blazers met yesterday to talk about the potential of revamping the Moda Center. Team owner Tom Dundon has been insistent that the city fit the majority, if not all, the bills to revamp the arena, and he'd be willing to sign a 20-year lease if that happens. The saga has been contentious, with some believing Dundon could be wanting to relocate the franchise. I don't know, and I'm reading up on it. Where's he going to go? What's out there? What city is dying to get an NBA team? I think he's trying to play him. And whatever, man. He's trying to get leverage, and if the city can foot the bill and he doesn't have to, that's how you get rich, I guess. Or how you get wealthy. I guess there's a difference between rich and wealthy is what wealthy people tell me. For the first time in 5 years, the NBA will not play any preseason games in the Middle East. And it's due to the ongoing war between the United States and Iran and the ongoing unrest in the region. Oh, the ongoing unrest. How about that, Riley?
I mean, were you like laying up at night, ready to watch them play in Dubai?
No, but that was I was lying in wait, up and not sleeping for other reasons.
So it helped you pass the time.
Yeah. Like last night, what can I do to come in here and kick your butt in arguments?
Oh, well, you haven't done it yet, so you better keep practicing.
Well, it's only 7:10.
Well, you better keep practicing because all week I'm undefeated.
No, you're not.
Ooh, you got me there. No, you're not.
Right. It's just the basics.
No, you're not.
I don't go into hyperbole. I just go into the basics. So, all right, let's move on to ML freaking B.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Well, here we go. Shohei Ohtani. He sat out last night's game. Wow. Is he injured? What is going on there?
I've always been of the opinion that he should just shut it down pitching.
Me too. I think he should.
I got that from you.
Oh.
I learned that from watching you.
Oh, well, about time you had a right opinion. I'm okay with that.
I mean, what does he really get? I mean, the stats show that every time he pitches, like, his hitting goes down. I mean, you just take his bat.
A whole week, and you're finally sounding
took his bat out of the lineup just by having him pitch. Why would you do that every 5 games? I mean, he's an amazing hitter. He could be healthy.
Well, it's about time
he's swinging away.
You listen to truth.
These coaches. I'm surrounded by idiots.
The deadline for the trade is Monday. Oh, boy. The Mets trading their left-handed pitcher, A.J. Minter, to Minnesota for a couple of minor league prospects. They're saying Scooball, he's a kid out of Kingman, Arizona, which is a small town about 100 miles from Vegas. And he pitches for the Tigers, and he's really good. And now the ESPN dude, Passan, saying, is it Passan or Passan?
Passan, I believe.
Passan. Saying that the Dodgers are in the lead. Should the Dodgers get Tariq Skubal?
Yes, they should. Because if they get him, then Ohtani can just stop pitching, and we can just have him hit all the time.
I know, but what about the competitive balance that they just keep piling up World Series, one right after freaking another?
I mean, the Yankees did it for a while. It didn't seem to hurt baseball.
So you don't think they need a salary cap?
I mean, yes, but, well, no, because our argument yesterday was, it's like, you're trying to make everything socialist, and I think it should just be a free market.
Right, and then you got Kyle Whittingham yesterday wearing a suit saying that.
What?
Yeah, they had, I guess.
He had a suit on?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was dressed up to the nines.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Big Ten Media Days.
I need to go look at that.
Big Ten Media Days pulled his best fit.
I could not believe he was in a suit. I do not believe it.
Well, it was there. And he's talking about how they need some constraints and guardrails and whatnot and all that stuff.
Well, you and him are tight.
There you go.
You
man.
and he are tight.
Yeah, well, when he speaks the truth. All right, let's move on to DJ's favorite. I think
Hashtag RSL.
DJ's back from soccer camp today, isn't he? Yeah, he went.
Is he at one of those
fantasy camps?
Fantasy camps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for him,
where is he? Chicago, Miami,
it's not
New York?
actually how to play the game. It's to learn to speak with a British accent, so therefore you know soccer. Because that's what it is.
Who did he go with?
His wife.
Ethan?
Honey.
Tanner? Sterling?
We'll have Pablo Mastroeni at 8:30. I'll be talking soccer. You're darn right I'll be talking soccer. You know, Pablo and I went to the same high school.
No, I haven't heard that one. If I had money for every time you've said that.
Do you know that Pablo and I went to the same high school?
Yeah, Thunderbird. I know exactly what high school.
Are you jealous like DJ is about that?
Not jealous, just like tired of that story. It's like the one thing you have in common with him. Hey, we went to the same high school.
We both like chicks. That's two things?
Dude.
What?
We both like chicks?
Yeah. You said it's a one thing. I just gave you another one.
What are you, 13? Well, we both like chicks.
Yeah. I played golf with his wife.
My gosh.
And Pablo.
Oh, jeez.
They're on the road tomorrow taking on St. Louis. First kick at Energizer Park is set for 6:30 in coverage here on the KSL Sports Zone. We'll begin at 5:30 with the RSL pre-match show. You going to be doing that one, Yak?
That's the plan.
Okay, and the Royals, they'll host the Portland Thorns Sunday at America First Field at 5 o'clock. Okay, What is Trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. When we come back, we're going to talk a little football. Weber State, they are finishing up their first week of training camp as they already had it going on here. They're the first one out there, out on a football field. See what's going on with the Wildcats. And I said Pablo 8:30. Stay with us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
3, 2, 1. This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeComb.
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, as he kicked off and the SEC kicked off their football media day, said that he is not happy whatsoever with what's going on in terms of the Protect College Sports Act. He has had conversations. The conversations about them tearing away from the rest of college athletics is real.
You know, college football, it's ironic that they're against the Save College Football Act. They don't want to be governed. I mean, that's what I keep hearing. The SEC, the Big Ten, they're the ones that keep dragging their feet. Everybody else wants to get this done, but because they feel like they are better than everybody else, they should get a better deal.
I really can't stand this guy. I really, there are certain people out there that are just hell-bent on wrecking things that don't need to be wrecked.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Today's Friday, but in 5 more days, we got Win Tickets Wednesday. Don't miss your chance to win big every week on the KSL Sports Zone. Next week, you can win tickets to see the Black Crows, and that's going to be at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater on August 13th. Listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win. All right. Football is in the air. We were at BYU yesterday and talked to Andrew Gentry, offensive lineman.
Great kid.
Yeah.
Sharp.
How much do you buy the concept of the familiarity, the experience of the group offensive line?
Oh, I buy into that 100%.
Yeah, well, BYU's got that.
It's a lot different when those guys have some cohesion. It's hard. The first thing is it's hard to get 5 guys to play together, but then when you get some continuity there and some of them are coming back and most of them are coming back together, it can be really good. That can be really good.
And that's what we're expecting out of the Cougars and their offensive line. Is the offensive line the unheralded group, but obviously quarterback needs to play well, but what's your assessment of the offensive line? Are they the next most important position group? How do you rank that? Yeah, rank offense from the offensive perspective.
Honestly, and I know this is going to sound like cliche or whatever, you can't do anything without an offensive line.
You literally can't even hike the ball.
Well, but I mean, if you want to be literal, but like, I don't care how good you are as a quarterback, how good you are as a running back, how good you are as a wide receiver. If they can't block, you can't do anything. It's why, and nobody wants to watch 7-on-7 football games. Like nobody's logging in this fall, for a Saturday game of 7-on-7. They want to see football. And they encapsulate everything that is great about football. I mean, some of them do care about credit, but they just generally don't get a lot of credit, right? Uh-huh. When they're good,
oh yeah, right.
When they're good, nobody notices. When they're bad, everyone notices. It's a really, really thankless position. And I was going to say this yesterday to Gentry, but it's interesting to me because as a young man, I think that I was drawn to, the wide receivers, the running backs, the tight ends as being my friends because I thought they made me look really good. I always appreciated linemen, don't get me wrong. But you know what's interesting is like I enjoy my conversations now with offensive linemen as good as or more than any of my teammates. They're just caring people. They are strong opinion. They make me laugh. I don't know. It's a unique group of men that are offensive linemen, and it's really kind of fun. I could just see Gentry, 20 years from now, and he's on the phone with Bear Bachmeier just making fun of him, like. And I love that. That's the one thing that I love. If you can't ever go back, but the relationships last for when you play. And I think I look forward to my conversations, my lunches, my barbecues with some of my old teammates more than anything in life. And I think and right up there with the best people that I know are offensive linemen.
So you rank them second most important on the offense?
I think they're first, but sure.
Ahead of quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Really?
You can make listen, there are a lot of quarterbacks out there that can throw a lot of strikes in 7-on-7. If you don't have an offensive line, it separates the wheat from the chaff. I think it's the number one position in football.
Wow, number one.
Yeah, I do.
Even ahead of edge rusher?
Listen, I love me some quarterbacks. Well, if you want to start breaking down position by position, left tackle is every bit, if not more important than an edge rusher. And they get paid like it in the NFL.
Okay.
You look at what they get paid. Now, look, there's people driving off the road like, no way, quarterback's most important. Yeah, okay, quarterbacks are important. If you don't have a quarterback, you're in a lot of trouble. And they get paid that way in the NFL. And if you really want to rank position by position, just go to the NFL and see who gets paid the highest by group. But I think that there has been a serious value attached to the offensive line over the last few years, last 10 years in the NFL, of realizing how important a good offensive lineman is. The one the most underrated in college football to me, running back.
Underrated? What do you mean?
They don't get paid. Ever since Shanahan in the 90s, there was a run there. You remember when Mike Anderson played for Denver Broncos? He had like 1,000 yards, and then there was another running back that had 1,000 yards, another running back that had 1,000. It was like, oh, this is really just about the offensive line. We can plug and play any guy at running back.
Well, that's what they think.
Yeah, and they're always worried about them getting hurt. But I think running backs are underrated in the NFL. Because one thing that people don't understand about running backs is they're a huge part of your protection scheme when you are throwing the ball. And most running backs that are good don't get on the field unless they understand their pass protections.
Understood that, yeah.
I mean, it's why Alema couldn't get on the field. I love you, Alema.
Saw him yesterday.
I actually Alema is an all-time dude. I like that guy.
I don't know that I agree with that running backs are underrated in the NFL.
You don't think they're underrated? They get paid like $8 million a year.
But they're interchangeable. I think
they
that's why.
They are not interchangeable.
I think they are.
You think you can replace Saquon Barkley?
Everybody goes to Saquon Barkley. You got me there. They're going to be an exception.
Okay, but they used to have feature backs.
Right, but those days are gone.
Which I think
1,000
is
yards
ridiculous.
is nothing now. It's like
Which
60 yards a game.
I think it's ridiculous.
Well, but the NFL has changed. The rules have changed so much to make it more entertaining.
So you think they're getting paid market value? You think that's exactly what they should be paid?
Within a salary structure, if they didn't have a cap, it's another thing. It was like MLB, pay them whatever you want.
Told you. All these guardrails ruin
within
everything.
The salary structure,
ruin everything.
You have to
Your
allocate the money
ruin it.
judiciously. And yes, I think that because they, to an extent, are interchangeable, you simply can't pay those guys that much. And a lot of them, if they're great running backs, what is their lifespan? I mean, who is the guy? He's on Fox Big Noon now, Richardson. It seemed like when he was at Alabama, he took all the shots, and you only got so many shots in your body. They're saying the same thing with Scatterbo. How many shots can he take before he's out? Because he looks for contact, right? And rather than angling over to the outside, if he sees a defensive back, he's going to angle into his face.
Who's more underrated than a running back? Who's more important? Or who?
They're not.
Who
That's
gets
my
less
point.
credit?
They get what they deserve.
They don't get what they deserve.
Yes, they do.
Somebody tweet out to me and help me out here. This is bull. I do not like this. I do not like this argument. Like, how can you say that about running back? I mean, the guy who's the most athletic,
No.
Running backs.
You're going to go to Barkley, and you got me there.
No. I'm talking about any freaking running back drafted in the 8th round is the most physical specimen, athletic guy on the team.
They don't even have 8 rounds of NFL drafts, so
you don't think Christian McCaffrey is the best athlete on the field every time he walks out?
That's a classic example.
I think he's the best athlete.
Yeah, especially when he's standing over on the sidelines most of the time.
Oh, my gosh.
He's hurt.
He's not hurt all the time.
Come on, he's hurt a lot. Yes,
Christian
he's a phenomenal
McCaffrey,
player, but he's hurt.
If he was sitting here in this room, you're like, man, I wish I looked like that. Man, I wish I could catch the ball like that. Man, I wish I could run like that guy. And it's every time, every running back that I know, every running back that I know is a specimen. They don't grow on trees. You act like they grow on trees.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime could have been a running back.
No, he couldn't have.
He's a specimen.
Dude, that guy can barely walk and chew gum at the same time.
Well, he could do a couple other things.
I mean, he could lift weights.
Yeah, but you're talking about a specimen. That's your specimen right there.
I'm talking about athletic. Like, I bet you if I threw a ball at Arnold Schwarzenegger, he'd bat it 3
Yeah, but the
yards.
problem is they're banged up so much.
Oh, my God. Tell your guys to block for him.
I insulted Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. The way you're talking about running backs right now is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. No wonder you insulted one of them.
At Pac-12 media,
they're the heart and soul of a team.
Back when Sports Illustrated was legitimate, it wasn't pushing agendas.
Right.
I read a story about how good McCaffrey is, but he doesn't look that big, but really he is. So he sits down, and you can ask Scotty G. He remembers this vividly about it. He sits down, and I said, wow, you don't look that big. And he didn't think it was a joke. Yeah. And it was just, I just read the story on that. Yeah, he's fine. He's a great player, but he's always hurt. He's always hurt. I think running backs are more valuable in college than they are in the NFL.
Unbelievable.
All right. Joining us now is the Weber State's head football coach. They have begun play as far as getting ready for the season, which opens August 28th, Northern Colorado. That's like 4 weeks from today. And Eric Kjar, Coach, good morning. 4 weeks from today. Are you ready?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there for sure. We're 3 days in. We got a little more work to do, but the guys are excited. It's getting to be that time of year, so it's fun.
We got Riley Jensen sitting in, and before we get into your team, because DJ's off today, Riley, he was going glory days the other day. He's telling us about when you were first over there at corner, and you're getting the program going, and he had some tackle-eligible play.
No,
and
he wasn't
got
there.
you. Oh, he wasn't even there yet.
No,
oh, well, that's
Eric wasn't
why,
there.
because Kjar wasn't there.
No,
he would have come back and kicked your butt.
I never beat Eric. He did come back. We had a game his first year.
That'll wait, PK.
What's that?
I said I was telling PK that away.
Yeah.
That's good.
Dude, listen, Eric, don't side with PK. I'm so sideways with him right now, I can't even see straight. This guy's killing me.
Shoot.
This guy's killing me. But
He's usually like that, I think. I think that's kind of what he usually rolls with. I think that's the norm with PK.
Oh, I think so.
He came in here and he knows me. Hey, Coach, if you pet a snake and the snake bites you, whose fault is it?
That's right.
You
it's like
knew
that
what
old,
I was when you picked me up.
When you picked me up. PK's the snake. Yeah,
Exactly.
I prefer to call him Scar, Lion King reference, but, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing, no doubt.
No, I never beat Eric. The first time that I got to compete against Eric was his first year at Corner Canyon. We had him on the ropes. I thought we had him. They came back with Zach Wilson. They beat us. Huge comeback.
He's just like Michael Jordan. He lets you think you can win.
Just typical Eric Kjar. He goes in, makes a halftime adjustment. Yeah, we're gonna win. Nice job, Bradley. Nice try. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, it was those were good battles. Especially, I think we had two of them, and then I think we stopped playing, and I think you might even left.
I had left. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hey, you were a pedestrian 181 and 39 at Corner Canyon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's some of I think that's some of the Jordan years too.
That's the Jordan
right.
stuff.
That was like
I think
20,
it was like 110 and 10 at
was
corner.
Like 29 of the losses.
And most of the losses were from out of state, those academy type programs, if I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but what I wanted
were always good for us to play.
What I wanted to ask you in all seriousness, Eric, is and I was joking about pedestrian, is that you've built a winning culture at Jordan High School. Clearly, what you did at Corner Canyon High School is unbelievable. Now that you've had a little bit of time at Weber State, what do you think is a common denominator about building a winning culture that you found translates directly to the college level?
I think a lot of it is like how your day-to-day interactions with your team from a staff, but also them with each other too, and what that looks like as far as pushing each other, holding each other accountable, but also loving each other up in all the different facets of football. Weight room wise, that happens quite a bit out on the field, but also just in general, like when we get opportunities to learn more about each other and kind of learn about each other's backgrounds, and then also, show that we care about each other besides just as football players or coaches. I think that's kind of what you are looking for. And we try to have a lot of fun too. I think a lot of time you got to enjoy this process. Gets pretty tough and long, and there's a lot of grind into it, as you guys know. You have to enjoy it, and you got to create an environment where they like showing up to work hard and be a part of that grind.
How do you blend? I think you got like almost 70 new players on the roster from even you got I don't know how many you would know from where you were to spring to now. How do you get everybody to come together like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of it, just trying to be around them as much as we can. I think we've done a good job of really participating and being around our players as much as you can, through like some of the strength conditioning stuff and being able to generate some commonality there with them, but also it's kind of nice that they are all new. It's kind of a blank slate. You kind of get to introduce your culture, what you're like, who you are, and what you expect of them. And they're all kind of headed in the same direction versus maybe, habits that they've had previously. It's kind of, they've came in with a blank slate, and same with us, and trying to just really get everybody moving in the same direction with the similar plans. Been a little bit easier, I think, because of that.
As you're moving into your first season with Weber State, obviously you brought in Devin Brown, and he's one of the long line of Corner Canyon quarterbacks that you coached at Corner Canyon. He's probably the one I know the least about, and that I've heard the least about. Obviously, Jackson Dart, Zach Wilson. There's been a lot of really good quarterbacks there. Tell us what helps him to stand out. Tell him what you tell our listeners a little bit about him. Like, what is he like? What does he bring to the table?
He does a good job of taking a business-like approach to that position, and he has a lot of fun. Like he's messing with our guys. Like he told Tate, one of our receivers, who's my son, that he looks like a Pez dispenser with his helmet on yesterday, which was pretty funny.
I know you like that one.
And his helmet's all big. It was funny. I was dying. But just stuff like, he's good with that stuff too, like just being one of the guys also and blending in with them. But also when he goes into meetings and all that kind of stuff, he's all business and he's a high achiever. He holds himself to a high standard, as most quarterbacks do, and sometimes that can be his own worst enemy. It's a good thing too, but sometimes just getting him to relax and play and not be too tough on himself with some of the things that we're doing. He's extremely gifted, especially arm talent wise. He's got a super strong arm, can make all the throws, and has played at a high level at different places. So he brings that experience into it as well.
Weber State coach Eric Kjar. Weber State coach Eric Kjar joining us. So he's a fifth-year senior, I believe, if I remember correctly, just doing the math. And then you got somebody like on the back end, on defense, Trevian Tribble, who's also a fifth-year senior. Are those some of the guys that you're looking forward to develop leadership? Because we know how important team-led leadership teams are.
Yeah, for sure. Trib's done a great job this offseason. Being a part of our leadership council, but then also, just setting the example and working hard and encouraging guys and doing even just little things, cleaning up, after we eat team meals, if something gets overlooked or pushing in chairs and thanking people that help us. Like, he's just special that way, and he's done a great job. And the way he's handled it and conducts himself around our guys has been really special and really what leadership's about. And he continues to emerge there, which has been great by Trib.
You said that he's really good with the guys. He's making fun of Tate. Did Tate and Noah make fun of him for wearing number 33? I mean, what's going on in the state of Utah? We got a number 47 quarterback. We got a number 33 quarterback. Do they tease him about that at least?
So they do. I mean, and some other stuff that I can't even talk about on here. It gets because Tate's known him for a long time. Noah doesn't know him as good, but Tate played with him when he was at corner, so it's funny.
Yeah, no.
But the 33 comes from I think he was a linebacker before he ever played quarterback. These
guys are killing me. These guys are killing me.
I can't remember. Was it Sammy Baugh? It's an old school.
I think Sammy Baugh might have been 33.
Yeah, and I think that's why he just kind of Sammy Baugh was a quarterback too. I'll just hang on to it. So, because his dad's pretty well versed in history of just football in general, and I'm sure he knew that. So Devin's I'll just keep it.
Yeah. Sammy Baugh, just looked it up, number 33.
Oh, nice, nice call.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you were at the high school level, a lot of the teams you played, and you played them repeatedly, and you knew a lot of the personnel and all that. Now you got a new coaching staff, and, I mean, you've never played Northern Colorado, Southern Utah, and then in Colorado, your first 3 games on the road, by the way. In Greeley, you make 2 trips to Colorado right off the bat. Greeley on the 28th of August, then down to Cedar the next week, and then over to Boulder to play the Buffaloes. How have you been able to try to get up to speed with your opponents? Or is that something you'll get to when the games start?
Yeah, and a lot of that we did in the summer too. We spent some time just prepping in general, not like getting down to it, but doing some film study and some tagging of, clips and plays and just getting a good understanding of kind of what's coming up ahead of us. It's pretty easy to get film on about anybody today. That's why I always laugh that everybody thinks there's a bunch of secrets in football, but yeah. I mean, we've started that process, in general already, and I think that's going to be something that'll continue to help us just being around in us, this staff, knowing opponents a little better and better as we go along over the years. But, I think football, for the most part, is pretty consistent in different schemes that everybody likes to try to run. Now, obviously, some of them run them a lot better. And then, you look at the talent, the physicality, and some of the things and calling plays in certain situations that make them a little bit more effective factors into that. I think that's going to be something that we'll have to get more of a feel for, but it's exciting. That part's kind of the fun part of football, I think, too. I would say Riley would kind of say the same thing, too, the game planning prior to and going into stuff and get an idea of what you're going to do and how you're going to attack is a really fun part of football.
Well, I think that's what separates you from all the other good coaches that I know is just the play calling, and I don't think people understand what an art it is and how good you were at the timeliness of your calls. It's not always about what plays you have. It's like when you call them. If you could outline just one thing that was the most surprising about like coaching college football so far, and then the one thing that surprised you the most about Weber State.
Oh man, that's a good one. Probably the biggest surprise so far has been the recruiting aspect and like just how it's a challenge in general. And I think it's gotten obviously a little bit tougher over the years now with some NIL and rev share and that kind of stuff, and really kind of what kids are about, what's important to them, and trying to find that and find guys that's going to match up with what you want in your program. I would say that's probably been the biggest thing so far. And then what was the other one? I'm trying to remember.
The biggest surprise about Weber. About Weber State itself.
Yeah, the thing I love about Weber is just I think the community up here in general, not only just on campus with the, professors and administrators and staff, they're just awesome and welcoming and super kind. And that's maybe because I haven't, coached any games yet and lost games or anything yet. So maybe that's a little bit why they're kind of nice. But even the community up here in Ogden has been great, super welcoming and just all about trying to help and get things going in the right direction. It's been pretty amazing and great support up here all the way across the board. So that's been really, really, refreshing to come in and have that environment.
Weber State coach Eric Kjar joining us for a few more minutes. I sat in the stands for so many of your games over the last decade. And
you were like yelling stuff out. I've heard some of those before. They're like, you should have heard what PK was saying up in the stands about you while you were coaching.
Unhinged.
It's unbelievable. Scar's a good nickname for him.
I'd always try to guess your play calls, particularly in the second half, and Riley spoke to that. I can remember a game at Rice Eccles. I think it was against Lone Peak. And I was on the sidelines, and I was creeping towards you in the first half because you were bugging me. But then you went in at halftime, and you made a bunch of adjustments, and you won the game. So I let you go. And I always enjoyed trying to guess what you were going to do as the game progressed. And I got like 1/1,000,000th of the knowledge that you guys have. I'm not going to kid anybody here, but it was always fun to try to see. Especially at Rice Eccles, where sometimes I'd go up in a press box where you can see even better, and to see what you try to get in your mind to see what you were thinking. And there was one time you guys were, I don't want to name the school because I don't want to embarrass them, but you're kicking the crap out of them with this halftime hadn't even evolved, and you got the ball like with 2+ minutes to go, and it was clear and it was early in the season too, and you were trying to work a 2-minute offense. and one of your guys, you threw a pass wherever on the side, and instead of going out, he cuts in, and you call timeout, and you lay into the guys that
Eric did.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen that.
That's rare. That's rare.
You lay into the guys. We're running a 2-minute drill, and those 3 yards, they're not as important as you getting out of bounds and preserving the timeouts, right? And so you tell them that, and then I think it was maybe the next play, maybe it was a play or two after. Another kid does the exact same thing, and you call a timeout again, and I thought your head was going to explode at that point, man. Your face got red. I was worried. I had my finger on the phone. I had already dialed 9-1, and I hadn't hit the third one yet.
Especially as I get in age, that's dangerous. That's dangerous.
And so you lit into the guys, and they all responded. I mean, they look at you like the ultimate figure, right? Because you're that much older than these high school kids, and you had them completely captivated. And generally speaking, from talking to assistants and administrators, I've been around the program a little bit from a distance because of the family situation.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, how is that going to be now at the college level? Because these guys are older. They've been around a little bit. How are you going to be able to treat them and coach them up in a manner that you did? Would it we have to use some finesse? Just take us through that, how you intend to do that.
I think a lot of it is just being yourself sometimes too. And I think, handling that, and I've been told by players that I've gotten softer as I've gotten older. I don't see it quite as much that I have, but like I'll have former players come back and they're like, man, if I would have done that, like they're just like, and that's not even up here. That was like at Corner Canyon. But I think there always is like a standard that you want to approach of what you expect with your players. And sometimes I think holding them to that can look a little bit differently, for one situation versus another. And I'm not saying even the player, but like, having them understanding that and making sure you reinforce that, continually without missing those opportunities, I think is really what matters. And we'll continue to do that here. I don't know that I'll always be quite as animated as I have been in the past, but I'm sure, emotions, who knows, I'll probably get there a few times, definitely. And our players have kind of had a few of those moments where they've seen me like that a little bit. And I think that's kind of been good for them a little too, because, they've even spoken about, just the importance of how they've appreciated being held accountable more, and having a standard that, I expect them to play at, and they've appreciated that. So I think sometimes being authentic really is maybe more important than trying to be too calculated with especially that part of it.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate you giving us time this morning. I know you got to get out to the practice field. 4 weeks to go, man. Greeley, Colorado.
Excited. Heck yeah.
Yeah, we'll be following it. Good luck, Coach.
Riley, keep an eye on him, man.
Dude.
Good luck.
Dude, I'm so glad I'm done this week. I'm done.
Oh, my. Man, DJ's leaving you hanging.
I'll see you next week. I'll see you next week, Eric.
Thanks, Riley.
All right,
appreciate you.
All right. That's Coach Eric Kjar coming up from Corner Canyon, literally going north to Weber State. And it's exciting to see what's going to happen with the Weber State Wildcats. We appreciate him jumping on the phone lines before he has to get out to practice.
I think Greeley is a great recruiting tool for Weber State. Because you go to Greeley and you play, and all the players are like, man, this place sucks. I'm staying at Weber.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Greeley?
I've been by it.
It's terrible.
Off I-25.
People tell you that Colorado is so awesome. It's freaking Nebraska. It's Nebraska, except for like way over where the mountains are 2 hours away. Everything else is flat.
If you look the one way, it is.
Yeah. It is. Like the whole state is freaking Nebraska.
Well, if you're going to compare it to Utah, you got me there.
I mean,
Utah's 1,000 times more beautiful and more scenic.
That place sucks.
I mean, Boulder was okay. I've been to Boulder many times.
Boulder.
And I like Fort Collins.
I'm not saying there aren't some good places, but like you go out towards Greeley and then you start going east.
Oh, go east.
Oh,
yeah.
my
east.
goodness,
it is
it's
Nebraska.
terrible.
The terrain and whatever topography, whatever those words are.
Well, they got the little oil drills going up and down. It's the same thing. Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Colorado. Dude, it's all the same.
Logan.
No. What? Why did you even go there at all?
Because I know Logan is dear and dear to
That
my
is
heart.
not even like, that was like.
Well, you look one way in Logan. I mean, my gosh. I mean, what's Logan?
You look any way in Logan, and it's incredible.
The only thing Logan is known for is dairy, and it's close to Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay.
Preston is part of Cache Valley.
It is part of Cache Valley. That's a true statement.
All right, we got some stuff. I think Yak. Next segment, it's time for us to just gloat a little bit. What do you say?
We can do that.
We'll get to
Am
that
I involved
next.
in this, or is it just you and Yak?
No, you can be involved.
You inspired us.
Yeah. Your psychology. Stay with us. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
They've been doing it for a while.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
I think the Jazz want to make the playoffs this year, and they really have no motivation for not making the playoffs this year because their draft pick goes to the Memphis Grizzlies in the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade. How motivated are the Jazz actually going to feel to maximize the win total of this roster using all the assets available to them to get there? My guess is it's actually not as high as fans would think because they don't have to do anything exactly right.
The truth is they are dedicated to it. But that doesn't mean they have to do anything about it right now.
Sure.
But no, not one person in that building, if you went up to them and said, hey, is the Bosnian Beak your answer at center? Not one of them is going to say yes.
Right. Or Jackson Hayes.
Or any of that. No, they're not.
Yeah.
So, yes, they do need to address the problem, for sure. Do they need to address it right now?
I don't think so.
Absolutely not. No, why would they?
Catch Jake and Ben afternoons from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's just bask for a few minutes.
I don't want to be here.
We're basking.
I don't want
Yes.
to be here.
You inspired us.
Yeah, we went out and played in the BYU golf tournament yesterday. It was my wife participated. It was me, Tim Lacombe. Tim had to leave to go do a show with Scotty. Jake Hatch came in and substituted, I think, after like 7 or 8 holes or so.
7 or 8, yeah.
Yeah,
In there.
and played the rest of the way. And they added up the scores. Yeah, and guess who had the lowest? That was a scramble.
Yuck.
So you're taking the best player.
I heard you
best
have a
shot.
stick.
He can bomb it. He can.
I
bomb
heard
it.
you can rack.
We have a formula for winning. You have to have a formula to win, don't you?
Oh, don't worry. The conversation. So we won they call it the BYU Media Golf Classic by 3 strokes. We shot 15 under as a team overall, and we won by 3 strokes.
Wow, so nobody was actually cheating, because every time I go to one of those things, it's like,
we don't know.
we were
didn't
minus.
cheat.
We didn't cheat.
No, I know, but you won.
Yeah.
And minus 15 is not a huge score. Like when I
like
usually play, it's like,
20
oh,
or-
he was minus 38. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, bull, they're cheating.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. But after the round, because you had to go, you guys went and played another round of golf, which props to you because it was hot yesterday.
Right.
But people were like, how did you guys do that? I'm like, you got to have a formula. We have a very, very good formula here at the KSL Sports Zone.
And it's him bombing it off the tee, swinging hard, a big lefty dude, and he gets it out there as far as he can.
Just swinging out of your shoes.
Not swinging out of my shoes.
No, it's actually a natural swing, really.
Honed over years.
Lefty.
He's got good club speed.
Yeah.
He's
Ken
flexible.
Griffey Jr.-esque, just nice and smooth.
That was my inspiration right there.
Hammer. He's got a hammer.
Yeah, he could get it out there 3+.
Wow.
And then I can't come anywhere near that. I never could, even when I was younger. It's not my game.
Right.
And then I try to hone in on 150 in. And I knew we were going to win. I think it was the next to last hole, hole 11 or something, because we started on 12, I think, or 10. And it was a par 5. And so he bombs one, and we were 180 out. And so I took my 7-wood and cleared it. And what was about a 20-footer?
Yeah, and then what does homeboy do?
Yeah.
Steps up, sinks it. Eagle.
Once we made
Talking about
that
you
eagle,
or him?
PK was putting well yesterday.
Once we got that
this is
eagle,
getting out of control. Are we done with this? I don't want to hear.
I knew we had it.
You know, I knew.
No.
With 2 holes to go, when I sunk a 20-footer, that we were going to win.
You do realize we talked about your mental performance.
Yeah, my wife was saying, I'm just doing what Riley. We were talking about this on the air. She was
Jackie
listening,
all day.
driving down.
I like Jackie way better than I like Patrick.
You sound like my mother-in-law.
We were talking about neutral thoughts, Riley.
She's so much cooler than you guys.
You helped drive us.
You played a part. We're giving you some flowers, and you don't want to accept them. What's wrong with you?
I think your wife is fantastic.
You just want all the glory.
I don't like you.
And we're giving you some of the glory.
I don't.
And you want all of it.
I don't like you.
I heard you. Once I sunk that 20-footer for Eagle, I knew
I loved how
could
you
win.
set it up. I knew we were going to win. What happened again, Yak? I can't remember what happened. Well, you sunk a 20-footer.
Because he
yeah,
put
that's
us
what
in
happened.
position off
That's
the tee.
what happened.
And let's talk about 2 holes before that where I stuck a tap-in birdie to
yeah.
our
Did PK talk about
the
that?
par
No.
4, it was
he
all
set
him.
it up
It was
to give
drive,
himself the glory.
And then,
he
I don't
didn't
know,
talk
small
about
iron,
that, did he, Yak?
wedge or something.
Was it
I
9
forget.
iron in?
9, and he stuck maybe 2 feet.
Oh,
3.
now you're talking about it. But before, it was all about
see,
PK.
on that hole,
it was all about PK.
I pulled an iron, and I was probably another 20 feet away. And, I made that putt anyway.
Oh, my gosh.
This is a true story. He just walks up, taps it, and it's in the bottom of the cup.
Dude.
Yeah. But I let him have the glory, being a team guy. I wanted him to experience it.
If you don't think PK's humble, just ask him if he is. He'll tell you.
Humility is one of my best traits. I've said that often.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That and looks. And there's one other thing. Yeah. I got those.
One other thing.
Yeah. Right. So I got that going on, and those are my things there. What did they do, Yak, when they announced the winner? We get any booze or whatever?
There were some people who, because I was the only person that was, because Tim was downstairs
Tim was
on
downstairs
there.
working.
You and Jackie had
We had to
taken
leave.
off.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, everybody kind of cast their eyes over at me, and I'm like, hi, champion. I do have your prize in here, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm
so
surprised I even fit into this room today, the way you guys are talking about this.
Next year,
your neutral thoughts conversation
we'll
helps
go
us.
to it. Yeah, neutral thoughts. Right now, I'm not having neutral thoughts. They're very slanted negatively toward you.
3 things you can see, 2 things you can hear, 1 thing you can feel.
Here's the thing, Riley. If it wasn't for former BYU players in the pros, the KSL Sports Zone would be 2-time champions of this event.
Really?
Yeah.
We finished second a couple years back. Same formula.
The only 2 times he and I have played together.
Yeah, we finished second, 1 stroke back in that one. Then
You want me to give him props? Okay, I'll tell you. Let's see, the thing was Thursday at 8:00. At 10:00 on Wednesday, he wasn't supposed to go. I went and talked to management. I want him there because I knew he was our most valuable guy. You can get people to make putts, but you can't get very many amateurs to hit the ball 300 yards. So I had to go downstairs, pull some strings to allow him to get there because I wanted him, because I wanted to win. I play golf to win golf tournaments.
You play to win the game.
In this case, you play to win the Media Golf Classic.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we will go for a whole year. We are the champions. Yes, my friends. All right. Rivalries. Can they be lovable? Can you reduce the hate? We got the boss, Kyle Whittingham, talking about that yesterday. We'll get to that next. Stay with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals are honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer that you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contest, and then listen every Thursday afternoon to Jake and Ben for the winner. It is the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. All right, Big 12 had their media days the first of the month, and here we are at the last of the month, and today, I think, or maybe it was yesterday, they wrapped up Big 10 media days. And then we had the usual measuring, we're better than you, that goes on between the Big 10 and the SEC, whose conference is better and blah, blah, blah. So I guess probably wherever your allegiance is where you're going to come down on that. But our guy put on a suit. Did you look this up? Kyle Whittingham. He put on a suit, and he was faced with questions yesterday. He made a statement, and then they gave him questions he had out there. And one of them was about him understanding the rivalry between Ohio State and Michigan. Do you think, and Riley joining us, DJ will be back on Monday, do you think you have to be in a rivalry to understand it? Now, before you answer that, I will say that I had no idea about the level of intensity that the BYU-Utah rivalry has. And really no idea. I mean, I didn't live here. I didn't go to school here. All that stuff. I mean, when I was growing up in Arizona and then when I moved to California, you knew a little bit about BYU because their football program was on TV a lot. Seems like I saw Ty Detmer play a bunch. And didn't know a lot about Utah because they hadn't really come of age as a football program. And then I get up here and I see, whoa, man, this is pretty intense. But how about a Ohio State, Michigan? Does Kyle need to be in it for him to understand it?
That's a really interesting question. I don't think you have to be in it per se to understand how important it is to people. And certainly I think Kyle's had, a huge experience with a very big rivalry. Now, whether people consider the Utah-BYU rivalry on a national scale as big as, the Ohio State-Michigan, that doesn't really matter to me because I think all the elements of a rivalry are there.
Yeah.
So I don't think he needs to be in the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry to understand that it's important to people. I mean, we talked to Jay Hill. He already talked about how this summer he studied their first opponent. He studied Iowa, which is their first
conference game,
and they've studied who else?
Ohio State.
Yeah, because he knows that they need to win that game. I mean, they understand. They understand what it is.
So he said that you can have a rivalry that's just as intense and just as emotional without the hatred. Here's his quote. I just think a rivalry can be intense and emotional without the hatred factor. I don't think there's any place for that personally.
I mean, I think that's true. No? Is that softening it up too much? Like, are they going to hate that at Michigan and Ohio State?
I wonder how that's going to be perceived in Michigan. Really, I do. And I wonder if people are thinking, he doesn't get the rivalry. We hate them.
Right.
We used to kid DJ, soccer boy, that when RSL, we'll have Pablo coming up at the bottom of the hour, when they played Kansas City. Now, I think when they won the MLS was in 2009. I think they beat Kansas City, right?
No, they lost to Kansas City in 2013. They beat the LA Galaxy for the championship.
Okay. Oh, yeah, so the one they lost to was in 13 with
Kansas
that goalkeeper
City.
Who looked like 150 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Kansas City against Sporting Kansas City.
Okay. And so that developed a rivalry. And so the in-house people for RSL or whoever decided it, they would pump up when they'd play them here, and it would start out and we would joke, we hate them, they hate us, right? And it's soccer and they're trying to build it up. I think they're in a true rivalry, there has to be a level of hatred. Now, that doesn't mean that you carry out actions against your fellow man that would dictate hatred. But I think there has to be a sports hate.
So are we maybe wordsmithing a little bit? Like, is he maybe saying exactly what you're saying, but they're not going to perceive it that way?
I'm wondering how it's perceived in Ann Arbor and throughout the state of Michigan right now.
Because I don't think Kyle's afraid to hate a rival, but I don't think he's going to encourage violence.
No, I mean, at no circumstance under any do you do anything along those lines. Are you whether it's through your mouth, your fists, you cut down trees or poison trees or any of that nonsense?
I didn't feel a lot of love between Bronco and Kyle.
Because there wasn't any.
Right. I think the hate was there. I don't think he was going to punch him. I don't think there was going to be violence.
There almost was violence with Suspenders Boy and Bronco. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah. But
Jake Scott and I were right there. We saw it.
Suspenders boy was in his face. I've never seen Bronco actually
the look.
I feel like
I
Broncos.
can see Bronco's eyes right now.
Broncos' fists look like they were welled up.
He took a step toward him, so he's coming down, and Jake Scott and I are standing right there. We're not more than 10 feet away, and you can see it on the video. I've got a bright yellow shirt on, and you can see us. And so he's got 3 cops. He's got one on each side, one behind. And here comes that doof coming from the east side to the hash mark as Broncos walking down that south end zone to go into their locker room. And he's just giving them all sorts of crap. And Bronco looks over, and the look in his eyes, and he took a step. And I thought, oh my gosh. But the cops, the one who was to his left, got over in the way, and
Suspenders boy also melted.
Yeah, he was Wicked Witch of the East.
Yeah, he was gone.
Melted.
He did. He just went to the ground, man.
He disappeared. He was like, oh.
He shut up and just started backing away.
It's the Homer Simpson meme where he disappears into the bush.
Yeah. He knew he'd overstepped his boundaries. And there was a guy who used to work for Utah as one of their video guys, a guy named Skip Whitman, who was there, and he's filming it too. And he's an employee of Utah. He's since left, gone back east where he's from. And he sort of pushes the Suspenders boy out of the way and says, "Get out of here." Because, I mean, he's a Utah employee, but he's filming stuff, and so he says, "Get lost, man. You're over the line. You should never do that." But I'm wondering how the people of Michigan felt when he said that. Like, was it too soft? And no one is ever going to use the word soft with Kyle ever.
I mean, maybe time's going to heal that. Like, they're going to know how competitive he is, how much he wants to win.
We know it here.
I know, and the only reason we know it is because the way that he acts and the way that he talks and the way that he presents himself. We know that he's tough.
Yeah.
We know that he cares, and they're going to see that too. So I think that's just something that, like, okay, so they perceive it as soft now. He beats Ohio State. Nobody cares.
That's true, but if he doesn't, and Ohio State is supposed to have all that in a bag of chips this year, is what they're saying.
Everybody wins the freaking preseason.
And Michigan, are they in a little bit of a rebuild? They're in a bit of a reestablishment, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't win 9 games.
Don't you think
last
at these blue bloods, though, that you're not, like, you don't really have to rebuild?
No, you don't rebuild in the manner that other teams
saying.
rebuild, but at a Michigan level rebuild. It's not the same as most of the teams in the Big 12 or now the new Pac-12. I understand that. But I just thought my wife's family is from there, and I've been back there, and I've talked to those people, her cousins and all that. I mean, it means everything. It's so big deal. I know, and I'm a Sun Devil, right? And when we play the U of A, I hate those guys. I hate them. But I hate them during the game.
Yeah.
I don't hate them today.
But you kind of hate him today.
When I watch the game,
you're bugged.
I gotta have that win. I gotta have that.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, I gotta have that win. Yeah, that's what's great about that rivalry. They've had plenty of seasons when both teams go in there 3-8, and the winner is dancing. Like
I can't remember. I felt like there was a run there for a minute in that rivalry where like one team would be 8-3, the other would be 3-8, and the 3-8 team won like 3 years in a row. Well, where like the team that was not supposed to win won it like 3 years in a row.
The classic when the Devils first went to the Rose Bowl, which was the 86 season, so 87, January 1. Mm-hmm. They clinched like 2 weeks early. They were...
So they had already won the Pac-10.
Yeah, they were like, they were 8-0-1 back when you had ties, right? Mm-hmm. And they clinched. Yeah.
But then they still had 2 games left.
And they played the U of A. They lost 1 game that year. Guess who it was?
Oh, man. Of course it was Arizona that. So Arizona gets to go, yeah, you might have got
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's the worst.
Yeah. It's what happened to Utah. Now, they lost more than one game, but the year they went to the Rose Bowl.
They lost to BYU.
Yeah.
It's no fun.
The first year they went to the Rose Bowl, I should say.
Right.
Yeah. So I think there has to be a level of hatred in the rivalry. I don't want hatred manifest in any form of violence.
It's not like he has to manufacture it.
Well, so you go up to Utah, and they had BYU stickers in the urinals, and they had the countdown in the weight room on the clock to when the BYU game was.
I bet he has the same thing going on at Michigan.
I think he better. And the word better get out to the fans.
So you think it was a mistake the way you talked about it?
For me, no. But I'm wondering how the people of Michigan perceived it. Because he's new kid on the block. He didn't grow up in the Michigan way, obviously. He was 2,000 miles away, all that stuff. Yeah, I wonder how they perceive it. Yeah, for me, I get what he's saying because I know the man. I've seen him compete on the golf course with me. I've seen it. So I know. I don't question his intensity. I don't question his emotion in the least. But they don't know him the way we know him. So I'm wondering when I heard that, I just thought, I wonder how they perceive that. But, I mean, I get what he's saying. Can he come on? He hasn't even coached a game. Oh, I hate them suckers. I mean, and his buddy's Urban over here, who's Joe Ohio State. So it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah. I mean, at that point, I think when I don't have any I have no doubt when they get there, because I think they go into Columbus this year, that he's going to be able to work them in terms of getting his kids all fired up and ready to go. And they already understand it to begin with, because there's new players, obviously, the kids came from
most of them have already gone through
it. Yeah. And especially if they're local or regional, as you know, college football is just gigantic in that area. I mean, it becomes, for many folks, life or death. Yeah. And I hate Ohio State. I want him to kick the crap out of them.
I think the Big 10 days are funny because they take lots of shots at the SEC.
Right, they got to go back and forth.
Signetti was going after him.
I know, right? And I saw some SEC people saying he needs to get humbled so bad. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, bring it.
They want to they go back and forth about who's better, who's the best conference, blah, blah, blah. And now the SEC's saying, well, it's not just who wins the national title. That's not the only thing, when for years that was the thing. And you got Saban up there. Oh, there's other ways to measure it. Yeah, because you guys have lost. You haven't won.
Reframing expectations.
Yeah. It's all a big mental gymnastics game, and away you go. I'm not sure who's better. I don't know who's better.
Why does my gut tell me SEC's better?
Well, I think if you go by pros and the amount of draft picks, but we'll see if that changes, because
I don't know that I'm right. I'm just saying my gut tells me SEC's better.
People in the business, when the NIL was going to start happening, before it happened, they literally called their shots. Coaches, multiple coaches at both places said, this is going to be a knock to the SEC because now everybody can do it. And they're going to lose their stature as far and away the most dominant. And sure enough, that's what happened. That's what is in the process of happening. All right, Pablo coming up next. Stay with us, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
They've been doing it for a while.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
I think the Jazz want to make the playoffs this year, and they really have no motivation for not making the playoffs this year because their draft pick goes to the Memphis Grizzlies in the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade. How motivated are the Jazz actually going to feel to maximize the win total of this roster using all the assets available to them to get there? My guess is it's actually not as high as fans would think, because they don't have to do anything exactly right.
The truth is they are dedicated to it. But that doesn't mean they have to do anything about it right now.
Sure.
But no, not one person in that building, if you went up to them and said, hey, is the Bosnian Beak your answer at center? Not one of them is going to say yes.
Right. Or Jackson Hayes.
Or any of that. No, they're not.
Yeah.
So, yes, they do need to address the problem, for sure. Do they need to address it right now?
I don't think so.
Absolutely not. No, why would they?
Catch Jake and Ben afternoons from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back in, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. RSL tomorrow, St. Louis. DJ, I assume, will be back. He'll be doing the game. He'll be back on the show on Monday. Joining us now is the coach, the manager of RSL, and that's Pablo Mastroeni. Good morning, Pablo.
Morning, PK. How you doing, bud?
I am doing great. You know, I have to laugh as I hear my neighbors and everybody else whine about how hot it is. Pablo, man, do they really know how hot it is?
Oh, man. Phoenix is melting right now, PK. I'm talking to my family, and they're like, man, it's a blow dryer sitting outside.
Yeah. And see, here, when you talk about being in the teens, that means it's really cold. There, when you talk about being in the teens, that means it's really hot.
Yeah. And the 20s and all that other stuff. It's bananas.
Yeah. And you guys are going to St. Louis, and so it's going to be cooler, obviously, than it is here, 72. But what about the humidity? And you've played soccer your whole life. You rather play in high temps and low humidity, or vice versa? What is it?
No, I'd rather play in the dry heat and high temps versus humidity. And obviously it's because you're just losing a lot of electrolytes, a lot of water. And I was always a bit of a cramp-prone athlete, and that just exacerbated the effects of that. So where dry, it's just the sun just beating you up, but it's not as bad. But the humidity is, and that lends itself to the tactical application that we have to apply is we just can't be. We got to be really efficient with our movement as a collective in order to make sure that we have energy to endure, that type of climate. And whereas like the teams in Houston, teams in, St. Louis, they've adapted, they understand these things and they've adjusted. I think when you go from dry to that type of, humid conditions, it hits you in the face. And so those are some of the things that we've been working on tactically to deal with the weather that we're going to face.
Right. And you hear like in other sports or maybe even in yours, if you're going to go in, the place is going to be loud. Like you go to football practices, whatnot, they'll pump in music because the quarterback's got to make the calls and so forth. And the crowd is loud, so they may have some silent counts or what have you. So they practice for the environment. And I understand you from almost like a science perspective, you can try to mitigate it, but you can't really practice in the actual humidity, though, right?
Right. No, that's right. And some of the things that we've applied, and again, we have a fantastic performance staff, and we do hydration testing 2 days before the game. So yesterday, the guys would have given a urine sample just to make sure their electrolyte levels are good. They have enough water in the system. And if anything is off, we have 2 days to adjust for that. So going in from a science perspective to again, make sure that the body's in the best possible condition without really knowing what it's like once you get there.
Will you actually have a practice there?
No. We trained this morning here, and we fly out this afternoon. So we'll get in and eat dinner, go to bed, and play the game tomorrow evening.
St. Louis, looking at them, a little bit of a slow start, but they haven't lost in a good long while. They've got, 7 games unbeaten and 19 out of 21 points. Seems like they got it going on. Tell us about what they're up to.
Yeah, no, they've done a really good job. They're a hardworking team. They're very dynamic and really in transition, right? So they're a high pressing team. And some things that we've been working on is how to bypass the press and really flip them. They take a lot of risks defensively, and it's paid off where they're scoring a lot of goals from those moments where they win the ball higher up the field. So tactically for us, it's really understanding what they're trying to do and trying to flip their script and be dangerous as well. And then also, like I alluded to, is they're a team that is also good in possession, and they like to break teams down. And so as far as being more efficient with your energy, how can we be in a good block to minimize the energy spend, but also be aggressive because we've been really good in transition this year. And so it's kind of a chess game tomorrow. And, I think, we've played some good games in the last couple of games, and unfortunately the results haven't gone our way. And there's been some different scenarios that affected those. But I feel like we're playing some good stuff, and it's a good opportunity to play against a team that's in great form to get a bounce back and really start the second part of the campaign in a great way.
Yeah, you referenced those 2 losses, but it seems like you're coming out of it and listening to your post games and all that type of stuff, that you're taking the positive approach as far as maybe you're not that far away from doing what you need to be doing. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think so. Just going to the LAFC game, they have this expected goal stat, which basically means where you take your shots in reference to the goalkeeper and how many players in front of the goal. And typically, a 1 XG game can get you usually, maybe 1 to 3 goals, depending on, if on the day you had a sharpshooter shooting from a distance and hitting a beautiful shot, that's a low XG, but you still scored the goal. We had probably one of our highest XG games, which was like 2.6, I believe. And we only scored 1 goal, and we had like 3 goals, that were tap-ins that on any other day we score those goals. We had 20-something shots, and we're playing as a visiting team. And so what LAFC did is they had very few chances, but they took them.
Yeah.
And I think that was the difference. And Bouanga and Son, who've has caused havoc, not just us, but to all teams in the league, really stood out in the day. And then in Portland, we go away from home. We start the first 20 minutes so bright, score the first goal, and then 10 minutes later we get a red card. And so then, so it's hard to see at times the positivity of play when the results don't go your way. But I'm steadfast in the way I see the game and the way the guys played when we had 11 players on that field. It looked like it was going to be a runaway game for us. And so, every moment dictates the result. And but for me, it's just really important to be clear with the guys and say, listen, for these 20 minutes or 30 minutes when we were 11-11, this is who we are. And then after that, you're hanging on. You're playing a man down away from home. For the next 60 minutes, it's always going to be a tough ask. But then again, the set pieces that we conceded are areas where we need to continue to get better, whether we're playing with 10 or 11 players. And so that's been an area of focus. And so again, I think every game is a barometer of where you're at. You're never going to be as bad as it says, and you're never going to be as good as the result is. You're going to be somewhere in the middle. And so it's really important for me and the coaching staff to have a real process-oriented mindset. Because again, the more emotional you get after results, the harder it is to kind of be consistent in performance. And for us, consistency in performance is what we believe will lead us to great results.
Pablo Mastroeni of RSL joining us here on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. You talk about that red card, so Morgan's out, whether it's Saba or whoever it might be. I realize he's new to the team. Do you slide him in there? What do you do?
Yeah, so we're looking at a couple different things. Gozo came back from the MLS game. He's a little bit nicked up from that game, so there's a question mark there. So we're literally waiting to get on the field today to see what happens, because then it's dominoes, right? If Gozo can go, then Gozo might move into an advanced position, and maybe bring in a player like Zach Booth in the wide areas to give us some, because Gozo against a team that wants to press, his speed in behind back lines where they want to play 1v1 in the back line would definitely favor us. But if Gozo can't go, then we have to look at a couple different options, given that Morgan's also out. So it's going to be, we're literally waiting until the start of training to see how Gozo goes, and then from there we'll decide the best way to go. So we have some options. And again, I think the important thing too is, the guys have been training great and have a fantastic mindset. So, whoever we put out there, I think is going to do a great job.
The trend across all sports seems to be expanding playoffs, whether it be college football and in the pro ranks, they let more teams in, whatever the sports are. What do you think about expanding World Cup to 64?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think the one thing I would say is, I didn't know how this is going to work out, expanded to 48. And what you saw was a lot of unbelievable games, and a lot of the underdogs performing at a really high level. So there's a lot of Cinderella stories with the more teams that you put in there, and it didn't drop the level of the tournament. And I think that was my biggest concern with adding more teams. And so the only negative would be is if you start to get these 6-0, 7-0 games, and it loses its excitement. But there's a lot of teams here in the region. Panama's a great team, but Costa Rica is another really good team. There's various teams in each region that but I think maybe expanding it to 64 might be a stretch. But the other part is PK, where after the World Cup ended, everyone's like, "That's it." My son's going, "That's it, Dad? There's no more? Why don't we do this every year?" So it might just prolong the tournament long enough to where we, it was fun to go home every day and watch a couple more games in the afternoon and at night, and so that might be the positive. But I think these guys, do their homework and make sure that it's going to be a good product on the TV, on the field. So. I'll trust that they'll do a good job if they do extend it.
Yeah, I think, too, you have to answer to the fans because ultimately sports at the college level and certainly at the pro level is just an entertainment product. And folks want to go and have a good time. I mean, obviously they want their team to win, but ultimately I view sports as I do going to a movie. You view it differently because it's your job and occupation. But for me, I just want to have a good time. I want to be entertained. And if the public has, you don't want to just do things just simply because they say so. But if the public has a thirst for it, why not?
Yeah, I agree. And it's interesting that you say that because I think as I've, when I first got into coaching, it was really about the profession and me and my coaching and how, growing and learning as to, how do we win games? And, this year with the group that we have, it's been entertainment, and, I watched the broadcast back and, the commentators saying this is an exciting team to watch. And at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. You go to the field to watch an exciting game. And the way we play, our game model is such that we're high energy on defense to have a lot of turnovers. We want to get the goal quick to try to create as many goal scoring opportunities as possible. And you realize that, if you want that 12th man to be the best 12th man, you've got to put a product on the field where there's always action, right? So it's an action movie versus a drama, right? Or, one of these type of things. So as I've gotten older, I've understood that this is an entertainment industry. And obviously our jobs as coaches is to win, and that makes everyone happy. So when you can marry both of those, you've got a great product. So I'm cognizant of that. And at the moment, we're looking to get back and bounce back and get the results that, put a smile on everyone's face as well.
When you speak of Mary, I know I have laid down the law, and I don't do this very often, but what you spoke about drama versus action movie. My wife knows if there's a romantic comedy out, ask one of her friends. Don't ask me.
Right. I'm the same way. It almost feels like a chore to watch one of those romantic comedies, but we got to put in the time, PK. We got to put in the time. Sometimes we got to suffer through those things to make sure that our relationships stay nice and tight.
Yeah. So I went and saw Toy Story 5 for her. I did that. I don't know that
You're a good man.
I would have gone on my own.
Man.
I may have dozed a scene or two, but I just make sure that I act like I catch enough so I can talk to her about it afterward. But give me Tom Cruise and give me blowing up buildings, jumping out of planes, motorcycle chases, all the way. I'm okay with that. But the rom-coms, I got to draw the line.
Yeah, it's so funny. That's great stuff.
All right. Well, good luck tomorrow. We'll talk to you again down the road.
Thanks, PK. Sounds great, bud. Thank you.
Okay, that's Pablo Mastroeni, RSL coach, head coach. He and I, Riley Jensen joining us. I don't know if I told you, Riley, but he and I went to the same high school in Arizona.
You guys went to the same high school?
Yes. Yeah, we did.
I've never heard you say that before.
That gets under your skin, doesn't it?
I mean, it's just like the only thing you got. We went to the same high school.
Yeah, we did. We grew up about a mile apart. Now I'm a little older, obviously, but we walked the same areas. We at Thunderbird, down the street a little bit. People, students, on Friday nights, whatever, hung out at the Jack in the Box. And when I talk to him about the Jack in the Box, he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
God, that's amazing. That's just compelling radio.
Where did they hang out at Cottonwood?
Training table.
What, in the seminary building?
No.
Training table?
No, training table after games. The old training table right there across from the old Cottonwood Mall. Yeah. It's all gone now. Everything's gone.
Oh, the Cottonwood Mall. I know. It's been.
I know, but training table's gone. Everything's gone.
Yeah.
Well, my high school memories, they're trying to erase everything.
And on Thunderbird Road, which is why the school's named there, at about 20th Avenue or so, the Jack in the Box is still there.
Yeah, see, I mean, they got the high school, they got the Jack in the Box where everybody hung out.
Yeah, and they probably still hang out there. Some traditions remain.
Right.
They're
I mean, Thunderbird. Forever. If you went to Thunderbird High School, you were somebody.
Got to go to break. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
3, 2, 1. This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeCoe.
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, as he kicked off and the SEC kicked off their football media day, said that he is not happy whatsoever with what's going on in terms of the Protect College Sports Act. He has had conversations. The conversations about them tearing away from the rest of college athletics is real.
College football, it's ironic that they're against the Save College Football Act. They don't want to be governed. I mean, that's what I keep hearing. The SEC, the Big Ten, they're the ones that keep dragging their feet. Everybody else wants to get this done, but because they feel like they are better than everybody else, they should get a better deal.
I really can't stand this guy. There are certain people out there that are just hell-bent on wrecking things that don't need to be wrecked.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Riley Jensen joining us. DJ will be back on Monday.
Who?
Riley Jensen.
DJ?
What's your favorite rom-com?
Oh.
Because I know you're a big rom-com guy.
I am actually.
I know you are.
No,
you're soft.
You sound like my wife. My wife wants to watch Die Hard at Christmas, and I'm like, what? What are we watching?
Borderline Christmas movie.
What are we doing here? I want to watch some old Miracle on 34th Street. Just like, dude,
A Wonderful Life.
You're so soft. Rom-com. I'm the only one in our family that will actually even entertain a rom-com.
I like your family.
She loves shoot 'em up, bang 'em up, stressful. I don't want the stress. I have enough stress in my life. I don't need to come home and watch a movie that stresses me out more. It stresses me out.
You baby.
Stresses me out.
It's fake.
They stole a 5-year-old kid and they're holding them ransom by doing what? She's like, oh my gosh. Get over it. It's a great movie.
That's why I love The Sopranos, man.
Oh, dude. She's watched them all. It's so dark.
and the way they fight constantly.
You love Breaking Bad, too?
Not bad.
Oh, my gosh, dude. I tried. I actually gave that one a really, and then there was some episode where they killed a 5-year-old kid, just shot a 5, and I was like, I'm out, Jordan. Okay. I'm so out. I can't do that.
She liked The Sopranos?
Oh yeah.
A lot of swearing. I could have toned that.
I don't even think she noticed. Rom-com. What's a good rom-com that I like?
My wife watches probably 20 times. She's seen While You Were Sleeping with Sandra Bullock.
Sandra's a good rom-com. I don't know. I seem to have liked. I don't know. I can't even name them. But I'm the guy. I am that. I will admit that I'm soft in the sense that if I see one, I'm willing to turn it on and like start watching.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
You know what though? You know what has ruined me though in some ways, like where I don't watch that as much is my attention span is way smaller now than it used to be. Like I can't like sitting through a movie feels like a long time to me now.
Well, I judge a movie by the time. She knows she wants to go to movies.
It can't be over 2 hours.
Cannot.
Yeah.
Cannot. I mean,
and I
just the way I am in life, I got to go to the bathroom 3 times.
I blame smartphones for that. I mean, I think everybody's attention span has gone down over the years. But like, man, in my family, if I say, hey, why don't we all watch a movie tonight, like on a Sunday night? And we did that as a family like hundreds of times when I was growing up. No, don't force us to watch a movie. No. I'm like, what the heck?
So they didn't like it.
What happened? Now, for some reason, if we go to the movie theater, there's not as much resistance. So that makes me happy that there's at least, a part there where they still like to go out.
It's an
and,
activity.
I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, if I hung out with you and I was a kid and you were a kid, I would have thought you were the rich kid. And they're like, what are you talking about? We're not rich. I'm like, you're a rich kid. And they're like, we are? You know what I mean? Because if we went to the movie theater when I was a kid, I was like, this is the coolest thing that's happened to me maybe this year.
Really?
Yeah. McDonald's was like a once in a 6-month thing.
Okay.
And it was like the nice dinner that we got to go out to. My kids have McDonald's like 3 times a week.
That's healthy.
Not healthy. But we're on the run. We're on the run, baby. We go from sporting event to sporting event to sporting event. There is no time for dinner. It is, do you want a cheeseburger from Wendy's or do you want a cheeseburger from McDonald's? Because we're on the run. That's it.
Okay, I had one last night at Shake Shack.
Oh, snotty.
Did you go smoke Shack?
You like 17? Yeah, your burger cost $17.
It wasn't my choice.
Shake Shack is delicious, but yeah, you do pay for it.
God,
I went to the one on Foothill.
I have 3 kids. I can't go $17 for each burger, and then you add on the shake and you add on the fries a la carte, and all of a sudden I'm at a $90 thing.
I'm obviously behind the glass, but I was just shouting amen at you when you were talking about hey, we're going to McDonald's or Wendy's.
Dude,
trust me, the Hatch household right now, dude, that's what we exist on.
My wife is like, I ain't cooking tonight. Don't even freaking look at me like we're cooking. All right.
Pants, Riley, pants.
I got none.
But he has opinions on the local college football teams. That's all that matters. We will get to the Riley Jensen's predictions coming up next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, man, wrapping up. Still got another hour to go. Stay with us here. Riley sitting in. I want to talk about what you think are the expectations for Utah State, BYU, and Utah. We'll start with your Aggies. Do the Aggies have any first-team All-Packers?
He's a first-team All-Whacker.
Oh, really? Did you guys set that up?
Maybe.
I think you did.
Never.
Do they have any first-team All-Packers?
I think you set that up. I think there's been conversations.
He's a first-team All-Whacker.
There's been conversations.
Come on, who's going to be a first-team All-Packer?
Who is that guy that keeps saying that garbage? Who is that guy?
He's a first-team All-Whacker.
Ow.
That's going to go on your tombstone.
True words have never been spoken.
So with that in mind, what type of talent do they have to compete in the Pac-12 this year?
Well, here's the good news. With Bronco there, love Bronco or hate Bronco, he has always established really clear expectations as to what he wants from his players. And that's one of the things that I really admire about Bronco. Even when he was the defensive coordinator at Snow College in 1992, when I was playing at Snow College, he was the D coordinator. Mm-hmm. The expectations were always clear. It's just been part of the magic of his coaching is there's never a question of what he expects out of you. So in your second year, you start to really, really hone that in with the players and they start to embrace it. Now, you may not like the way he presents it. You may not like the way it goes, but it comes back. And did you notice that Eric Kerr this morning talked about authenticity again?
It caught my ear. Yes.
Right?
It did.
Like, this is what I like, because you can be authentic and be Eric Kerr. You can be authentic and be Bronco Mendenhall. Or you can be authentic and be Kyle Whittingham. Or you can be authentic and be Morgan Scalley. And Kalani is very authentic. That's why they're good coaches. Because they coach hard, but they're also true to who they are. So that's what I love about Bronco. I think McKay Hillstead, I think he's a great talent, and I think he fits in with the mentality of Utah State. A little bit of a chip on your shoulder. He transferred down to BYU. He's now back at Utah State. It's a chip on your shoulder mentality. He's also very talented. He's a very good quarterback. And I like the pieces that they're starting to put together. I mean, you know Jan Jorgensen. He's always been a friend of the program and a friend of us.
Good dude.
I've talked to him quite a bit. He's much more excited about this season than last season because it takes a minute. You can't just turn a program around in a year. There are going to be consistently good football teams at Utah State for years to come.
Cool.
And you know what my best indicator of that is?
What?
Is that Bronco moved all of his horses and all of that stuff from his ranch in Montana
down
to Wellsville. He doesn't have plans on leaving.
Said the people at New Mexico.
I don't think he's leaving. He didn't bring all his horses down to New Mexico.
No. Well, I don't think New Mexico has horses though.
They don't? What do they have? Chupacabras? What's the name of that little raccoon that's like deformed?
Jimothy.
Jimothy's from New Mexico, isn't he?
Have you seen the Jimothy thing, PK?
Have you seen it?
No.
Dude, there's this raccoon. There's a raccoon that, like, for some reason...
It looks like an alien.
He's born with a deformity. He has these huge, long legs and this really short, compact body.
Completely opposite of what an actual raccoon looks like.
He's got this big face. I mean, they even have videos of, like, when he was a baby and the mom's being all, like, helping him out because he's, like... he has like a deformity, and he does like the first time I saw it, I thought he was a chupacabra.
No, everybody was like, "What is that?"
It's crazy.
So you're making fun of physically deformed creatures?
Just animals.
Okay, I just want to see where you guys are coming from.
We don't make fun of you.
I just want to see. Well, some people. Well, no, I'll just leave that alone.
I see where you're going there. I see what you did there. So anyway, so there's no horses in New Mexico. We've established. Just
right,
Jimothy.
He moved his horses. Oh, I mean, he's over 60 now, so you'd have to think that this would be it. And Logan suits him. That's the kind of town you'd think he would.
I think it really does suit him. I mean, when he coached, he always had this stern. When he was the defense coordinator at Snow College when I was there, he always had this stern, like, kind of look to him.
Serious.
And feel like I wouldn't have messed with him. Like that guy that was up talking in his face. Like I was like, well, that was a career. That was just a bad career choice from the very beginning because I don't think anybody wants to fight Bronco. I mean, that dude is named Bronco for a reason. Like you don't want to fight Bronco, but he fits into the Utah State persona better than anywhere to me that he's been.
I can see that. Knowing what I know of him, I was a beat writer, covered him all those years.
He's just hard-nosed. Very, very disciplined. A very pragmatic approach to everything that he does. So I love the fit. And I think Bronco's a fantastic coach.
Are they bowling this year?
Yes.
Okay, there it is. Utah State in a bowl game. And
No question.
hopefully for them, it's not the New Mexico game because he couldn't ride his horses on the off day.
Well, you don't want to go to New Mexico if you're Bronco at all. He might not ever go there again in his life.
I wouldn't be surprised. They don't like him down there.
Yeah.
All right. Utah.
But New Mexico just wants an excuse to hate Utah State anyway. There's a healthy little rivalry there.
And it's going to be done because they're staying behind, right?
Yep.
Two words. Bowl eligible.
Better not use that in Michigan.
I'm just saying this for Utah State. You can.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, well, once they get to 6, we got to play that on that following Monday. Utah, quietly thinking maybe not quietly, that playoff is a possibility.
You think that? The people think that?
I think they think that. I would say probably not.
I feel like that's just a little bit of a stretch. But I don't know why I'm chomping at the bit for the Morgan Scally tenure at the University of Utah. I think it's going to be very good, and I think it's going to have a different feel than it's had under Kyle, which is not a bad thing. It's just different. Like, different doesn't always have to be bad. It's just different. It will be different. There will be a different fingerprint on this program. Not from the standpoint of, like, toughness and playing hard-nosed football, but Morgan just has a personality that's willing to get out there and get ahead of things, and I think it's going to be a little bit more fun. I think you're going to feel the fun come back to the Utah program.
Yeah.
It's always fun to win.
As Majerus would say, fun is winning.
Well, and I think Morgan is going to win. I do think they're a year away from competing for the Big 12 championship and playoff spots. They just lost too much.
Yeah,
they lost a lot of coaches too. Like
they did, yeah.
And Morgan is well connected. He knows a lot of coaches. I trust him implicitly to be able to hire the coaches that he needs. They also lost some key players that went to Michigan. He's got a plug, and he's got to play with some guys, but he's going to rebuild that depth and rebuild that program. And I shouldn't even say reload that program, but I think it's a year away from what everybody is expecting.
But still, minimum 8.
Yeah. I would say 9 wins.
Yeah. I can see that.
Like, I don't know how the under-over works, but you set it at 8.5?
Yeah.
Would you take the over or the under?
I'm inclined to say over.
Yeah, I am too. I think they can win 9 games.
If Dampier stays upright.
Fair enough.
If he's healthy.
Yeah, but Ficklen's pretty good too.
Yeah, I'm not so sold on him. I mean, as a runner and a dynamic athlete, yeah, I want to see him lead a team in the pocket, getting the ball downfield, because that's the way you have to do it.
Well, I think there's also a real big difference between coming in a couple of games and making a couple of big runs and making a couple nice throws,
right.
and then having a defensive coordinator plan for you all week.
Yes.
There's a
I
big
haven't seen
difference.
it. It's nothing against him. It's just that I haven't seen it.
Exactly. And it's like Kjar said, like this new, I can't even remember what it's called, that they all have access to. Like, you can get every game for like the last 3 years from every single team from like Division II through the NFL on the program that they have. There's no hiding.
Right.
And everybody has access to it. So it's not like so if and when Ficklen gets a chance to play, like, they're going to have so much film on him. It's different to have a defense coordinator actually planning for you than coming in and like making a couple plays because you fit a little bit different in that offense. And like you said, I'm not being critical of Ficklen, but I don't think we've seen enough to say he's really, really, really good.
He's a dynamic athlete. We know
I
that.
will tell you that Dampier is a really, really good quarterback, and especially, we were all critical of like his arm strength and there are a couple of limitations there, but he's overcome them very well, and he knows how to lead a football team.
Oh yeah, he's a great leader. He's charismatic.
I think part of the reason why Ficklen stayed is because they're buddies. Believe it or not.
I think he's the best leader at quarterback that they've had since Brian Johnson.
You don't think Cam Rising was a good leader?
Yes, I do.
And you think he's better than Cam Rising?
Now, that's biased because I think he's a better interview, but Rising was very good. Rising was a baller.
Yeah, and
he gave you everything he had.
When we talk about leadership, we're talking about like getting the most out of the guys around you. To me, I mean, I put him up there with Rising. I think Rising is probably
I'm fine with that.
The best. But you know what though? I'll say this: Dampier might overtake him this year if he has another season like he did last year.
He's just a smaller dude. He's got to stay healthy. Of course, Cam was bigger and was hurt all the time, unfortunately.
Right.
Cam had the best, great, tragic football career in Utah history.
And without that late interception at Florida, I think his senior year? Well, we don't know what his senior year was, but that tragic interception at the very end, like I think he would have gone down as one of the all-time greats if they get that win.
He was a winner.
Yep.
I loved the way he balled and laid it out there at all times.
I think it was Kyle's favorite quarterback.
Might be. Run through a wall.
He just loved his leadership.
Yeah.
It's the only quarterback that I've seen that Kyle kind of let him be a little bit of a gunslinger. All the other quarterbacks, he didn't really let him.
Yeah, but that's all in context. He only had 2 300-yard passing games. I think it was only 2, and both of them were against the crappy USC defense.
It's just fun to beat USC.
It is. But when we say cut loose, that's Kyle's version of cut loose.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah. And so
but
Morgan
just
has
felt like
promised
they threw more.
He's intimated that we will see more. He's led us to the water, and now we'll see if we can drink it. He's told us that we're going to see more.
I think that you will naturally see more because I don't think that I think that Morgan is a little bit more collaborative in approach. Like, hey, he may every once in a while get on the phone and go, hey, Kevin, why are we doing this? What is your thought process? Let me know your thought process on what we're doing right now. And, and if
Kyle didn't do that?
No. Run the ball.
What did he say one time to Troy Taylor up in the press box?
I don't know. I don't know what the words were.
That is what they call NSFW, sir.
Which button do I push here if we say that out loud?
No. There's this thing right here. You see this big red button?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't want to push that today.
I'm just saying, if we say what was said, that button will be used.
Do you know what was said? You do.
No, I don't.
You were told.
Here's what I'll say.
You told me.
Here's what I'll say. I understand the meaning of what was said.
A safe way to.
I just, and look, I think early in Kyle's career, I was a little bit critical of that. That made me really, really frustrated because I love offense and I love seeing good offense. And then it's been really weird because I've come around to Kyle. One of the things that I really respect about Kyle is he knows enough about the history of college football and the history of coaches getting fired and all that kind of stuff that he knew that if the ship ever went down, he wanted to know that it was because of the decisions that he made, not the decisions that somebody else made.
Yeah.
It was his ship. And if the ship went down, he was okay with the ship going down because it was his decision. Mm-hmm. And if the ship was sailing and doing some amazing things, that was also because of his decisions.
Yeah, the winningest coach in Utah football history.
You can't argue with that. And although he thinks all quarterbacks are prima donnas, and he thinks that even me, and even though he thinks that passing the ball, what's the old phrase, like
things bad can happen.
3 things can happen when you throw the ball, and 2 out of 3 are bad.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of his attitude.
Mm-hmm.
That's his prerogative as the head coach. I feel like that's his prerogative. And so I've come around as a defender of him rather than a critic of the way he ran his program.
BYU, do they make the playoff or not? Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
No, he backed off in 2 seconds. Must be something about being in that chair.
No. BYU is very good. I'm concerned about the wide receiver room.
Fair.
They gotta have a dynamic person there. Obviously, LJ is good. Obviously, there's continuity on the offense. People go, well, all they did was really run the ball last year anyway, but that was because I felt like there were some limitations with Bear. But he also had 2 really, really good receivers that made clutch plays that made.
Kingston had 950 yards receiving, didn't he?
Yeah, and then Chase was just clutch on making big catches, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if they
Carson Ryan had 600. They threw the ball.
If they use that same formula, who's Carson Ryan? Who is Parker Kingston and who is Chase Roberts in that
I think
offense?
they got the Carson Ryan opportunities there, but we're unknown on the receivers. I mean, they have to acknowledge that, and it's up to the individuals
and I'm not
to
saying,
step up.
I'm not saying that some of those guys can't step up.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at it going, which one does?
I mean, it's like
I don't know
Ficklin. We
which one
haven't
does.
seen it, so we have a little apprehension. Receiver-wise, they got some size. Who's it going to be? The coaches can only put him in the position, but the individual has to go do it.
Right.
Who's it going to be?
I don't think the coaches necessarily thought Parker Kingston was going to be what Parker Kingston was.
Right.
But he just kept making plays, and then they build confidence, and then all of a sudden you're off and running. So it doesn't mean that it can't. It doesn't mean that it can't happen with this group. I just have no idea. And I'll tell you who would have a better idea is the players in the locker room. They're like, "Hey, dude, this guy is freaking legit, and he's going to make plays for us. And this guy's legit." But I don't know that I'm hearing a lot of that. At least not enough smoke to make me think there's a fire there. And then now flipping to BYU defensively, I am a huge Poppinga fan. I really like him. I do think there is some nuance to calling defense, and I do think that there's a little bit of a step back defensively before it gets really good. And so, as we're thinking out loud,
yeah, they got Arizona week 2.
And we're thinking out loud. I mean, he's going to be tested, and people are going to be a little bit more brazen in their approach than they were with Jay, because I think people had a real healthy respect for Jay.
Oh, yeah.
So
Long track record.
people are going to test Poppinga early and often. Oh, you think you can do that? Do you know what the adjustment is to that? Can you actually adjust to, if you're going to bring the heat, that I've got this little smoke screen that's going to hurt you? Can you really adjust to that? Do you know how to mix it up on me enough that I have to worry and be on my toes a little bit? So I think Poppinga is capable of doing that? Yes. But to be a really nuanced and great defensive coordinator, I think it takes a little bit of refinement. And Jay had that luxury while he was at Weber State University to kind of refine what he
Which
thought.
he tells you.
Right. He told us in our interview.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so Brady's going to be learning on the run. There's going to be some things. There's going to be some
Kelly, but yeah.
Sorry, Kelly.
Yeah.
There's going to be some heartburn for BYU fans every once in a while defensively.
Well, they got Arizona week 2, man.
It's not going to be perfect.
And you got a great passer.
It's not going to be perfect. You're going to feel some heartburn, but I do think he's up to the task.
Okay.
And I do think they have the athletes there. And give credit to BYU. Some of their best recruiting last year took place when Jay left on keeping the majority of their players.
No question.
That was a huge deal. That they didn't lose a bunch of those guys.
Right. Yeah.
Because a bunch of those guys could have gone with Jay.
Like they did at Utah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what happens. Coach Poppinga is going to have an opportunity to really, really show what he's learned in his 20-year tenure as a coach.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he can't do it. I'm just saying that it's nuanced. Being the play caller is a little bit nuanced.
Understood. Until you've done it. Okay, there you go. That's a recap of the 3 teams in the state of Utah. From Riley Jensen, our first team all-performer.
He's a first-team all-whacker.
Yes, he is.
Stay with us. We'll recap what we've been talking about this morning in 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
3, 2, 1. This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeComb.
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, as he kicked off and the SEC kicked off their football media day, said that he is not happy whatsoever with what's going on in terms of the Protect College Sports Act. He has had conversations. The conversations about them tearing away from the rest of college athletics is real.
College football, it's ironic that they're against the Save College Football Act. They don't want to be governed. I mean, that's what I keep hearing. The SEC, the Big Ten, they're the ones that keep dragging their feet. Everybody else wants to get this done, but because they feel like they are better than everybody else, they should get a better deal.
I really can't stand this guy. There are certain people out there that are just hell-bent on wrecking things that don't need to be wrecked.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Slacker Radio headlines are brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 1-855-Trajan1. 1-855-Trajan1. You spell Trajan, Trajan. Or you can visit them at their website, TrajanWealth.com. All right, talked a lot of college football today. Weber starting their season 4 weeks from today. It seems like it gets you here fast, but as a player, Riley, how long is the month of August?
Dude, it's so long. And I think it's actually, it probably feels longer to the players. My son was asking me about the 1900s when I played football.
The 1900s. Sounds a long time ago.
He gives me so much gas. He's like, dude, what do you know about football, Dad? You played in the 1900s.
The 1900s.
Anyway, we were talking about how long, like how many, with John L. Smith. This is kind of a funny story. John L. Smith, fall of 1997, we went 22 days in a row of two-a-days. 22 days in a row. We didn't take one day off. And after the first Sunday, Wanga Damuni works up at Utah State right now. He went in with a couple other guys to coach. He's like, Coach, can we maybe just take Sundays off? Maybe some of us could go to church. And John L. Smith goes, hey, God loves football too. That was his answer. So we went 22 days in a row of two-a-days. So we were, practicing 8 to 10 in the morning, and then, they didn't have a lot of appreciation for water and breaks and all that kind of stuff.
Especially back then.
And then it'd be like 3 to 5 in the afternoon, like in the full heat.
Oh, yeah.
Like the full heat. And then John L. always had it. He always had it in his mind that we should condition in the middle of practice instead of the end, because then it teaches you how to play tired. Yeah. So we would go through half a practice, and he's like, all right, line it up. 10, 18 100s. That's what we're running today. And then he always got some guy counting down. Only 17 more to go, guys. We got this. I'm like, shut up. I'm just running. I'm not even counting. I'm just running. But I do think that, it's only 4 weeks away, and I think it's a little bit longer for the modern day player, because I can't tell you how boring meetings get when you can only go once a day. Because they do keep them there and go through film and meetings all day, and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, I almost think that would be longer.
As opposed to out there practicing.
Yeah, I'd rather be out there
not looking at your watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and probably for these guys, getting away from their phone for
I was gonna say
3 hours.
Yeah, the phone is right there. You pick it up and away you go.
So it's a long time. It'll feel like nothing for us, because I don't know how you feel about it as a 60-year-old, but man, the older I get, time just speeds by. Like a summer when I was in high school felt like it was a year and a half long. And now it feels like it goes in like 2 weeks. Oh, the summer's over?
Mm-hmm.
Why does that happen?
August 1st tomorrow.
I don't understand that.
When I was a beat writer here locally and at other places, the first 10 days of August were fun. And in those days, you can go the entire time to practice.
Just sit in the practice.
Yeah, and you can get a feel for what's going on, and you hear stuff. You had to know what was acceptable to report on. And I understand things are closed these days because you got all this other media that didn't exist back then, and it's just easier rather than trying to keep a hold of it and track of it, just to shut it down. And then when you find 5 programs shut it down, well, the 6 is, we got to shut it down too. And so away you go. So I would think now as a beat writer, that's got to be torturous. I thought that I enjoyed it in the beginning because there was a lot of stories. But then when you got 2 weeks in, it's like, can we get to a game? Right. I mean, you've seen everything that you need to see.
The players feel the same way, though.
Right. And the positions, they talk about a quarterback battle. They know. After 2 weeks, they know.
Oh, totally no.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I don't even think it takes 2 weeks.
Right. I'm going to
I
extreme.
think it takes a week.
Yeah.
And that's if you really if you go into the quarterback competition and you really don't have an idea. Like you're like,
Which
man,
I think
these
that
guys
is
are
rare anyway.
I do too. That's what I'm saying. So, but even when you're like, oh man, these guys are pretty. I gotta find out. You know after a week. I think you know after a week.
Right.
Now, when you go into it and it's like, I think this one's a little bit better, you'll confirm that within 3 days. Now, you might not tell you might tell the media like, oh, we don't know,
Right.
And you want to keep the second. Nowadays, you got to keep the second string quarterback happy so he doesn't leave.
Yeah, understood. Right, and I think also too, you want the team to see it. Because then it becomes an easy decision once you announce it.
That might be the most observant thing that you've said the whole week.
I would say my whole life.
Maybe.
Outside of you're an idiot.
I'm not kidding you. Like there is some real truth to I don't want to use that analogy, but
go to another one.
Well, I'm trying to think of another one, but you don't. If you give a team long enough, they know. They know, and actually, the second string guy knows.
Well, he's part of the team, yeah.
Well, yeah, it makes it pretty obvious to him, even I didn't win that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I do. I know exactly what.
So
you mean.
I think that's totally true because that can give you some credibility as a coach too. Like, yeah, we're doing this, but you need to see what we see.
Yeah, right. And then
now the coaches may pick it up faster than the team.
I think they usually do.
But the team is also pretty quick and astute at picking out who the best quarterback is.
Yeah.
You know what used to happen to me? This is how I knew I was in the running. Receivers would start trading places. The good receivers were like, "No, get back."
Oh, so they jump in. Yeah.
I want to be with Riley because I don't want to waste a rep on
somebody's not gonna play.
Third string guy,
yeah.
Fourth string guy,
yeah.
Then that's almost how I knew every time I was going to win the job. Is like the main guys would start subbing in ahead. I'm like, oh, okay, things are going well.
I think they knew going into camp last year that it was going to be Bear, and they anticipated that it was going. Maybe they didn't know, but they anticipated. And as long as they threw stuff at him and he picked it up, he was going to be the guy.
I don't think it took long for them to know.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think BYU was hoping that battle would have been closer, and it wasn't close.
Well, it turned out okay.
No, I mean as far as the battle between McKay and Bear.
Right, but it still turned out okay.
No, it turned out fine. I think they wanted it to be more close. I think they were hoping that maybe they could call it even and start McKay for 3-4 games and let Bear learn and then move Bear into the starting. But it turned out just fine. But I think they were surprised when it wasn't close.
Okay. But yeah, that gives you confidence for Hillstead in Logan.
Yeah, I think, dude, he's a competitor. He's a competitor, and he's put a lot of work into his craft. I don't know exactly what happened at BYU. I liked him when he played at Utah State before. I thought he came in and did some good things. Now, the problem with McKay, and it's always going to be the criticism, he's probably sick and tired of hearing it. It's the same thing that you said about Dampier earlier. It's got to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And he didn't at Utah State. He had a bad wheel. He had a bad ankle. He had a bad ankle in high school.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
So he's got to stay healthy. But he's a competitor. I mean, if I were to compare him to former quarterbacks in the past, he reminds me a lot.
Nelson?
Yeah. A lot like him.
Tough guy.
Yeah. Wants to win you can't believe.
Maybe not the highest skilled guy, but whatever he's got, he's giving you.
Yes.
You got no worries about that.
That's the exact comp to me.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Yeah.
Riley, I'll tell you this. Anybody can judge Riley for what he was. He's the best high school quarterback I've ever seen.
Ooh.
The most polished, The only guy that might have taken that over recently is Jackson Dart. I mean, Jackson Dart's statistics were video game numbers. It was 67 touchdowns and 3 picks. I mean, it was. Wow. But Riley Nelson, I think the hard part about recruiting a guy like Riley Nelson nowadays is okay, so has he already reached his ceiling? Is that as good as he can get? Whereas maybe there's other quarterbacks that weren't nearly as good as him in high school that you can see a lot of upside on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think that was. I honestly think Riley had the best touch, the most unbelievable high school career I'd ever seen. He was unbelievable in high school. With Coach Favero, they just named the field at Logan High after Coach Favero, who also had the Washington State quarterback. What's his name? Out of Logan High.
Oh, Falk?
Yeah. Luke Falk. Yeah. I mean, he coached so many good quarterbacks up there. But Riley, man, when I watched, I was like, dude, this guy has command of the game. He knows where the ball's going. He gets it out on time. He was the best. In high school, he was the best athlete on the field. But he knew when to use his feet and when he really had to do a 3-step drop and just drill it in there. I mean, he was phenomenal in high school.
As they tend to be.
Yeah. I mean, If you want to play Division I football and you're a quarterback, when the college coach shows up to the field and he sees 4 plays, he needs to know you're the best player on the field right now.
And I think you usually do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you're a true Division I quarterback, when you show up and you watch a player and you're watching a quarterback, you're like, oh yeah, this guy has the swagger. He has the chutzpah. He had you can just tell that he can play Division I football.
So Dart going to blow up this year?
I think he is. He's got to stay healthy though, and I don't think it's his mentality. I don't think he can stop himself from running. He's got a little bit of Baker Mayfield in him that way, where he just tries to run people over a little bit, and it's just too much. And Gruden warned him about it when he did that little quarterback thing. He's like, dude, you gotta protect yourself. And everybody's telling him that, and I think
he can.
I don't think it's in his DNA.
But it will be.
If you knew his dad, Brandon, it's just not in their DNA. Yeah. They are full bore all the time.
Right. But he didn't play NFL football where guys on the other side are trying to take your head off.
Brandon would have if he hadn't got hurt 6 times at the University of Utah.
Sure, but he wouldn't have been a quarterback. And he wouldn't have had 11 guys trying to knock him out.
Right.
And so I think Dart will have enough sense to know this is in my best interest. It goes against...
He's a stubborn sucker, dude, and that's what makes him so great.
But he'd have to be dumb. And I don't think he is. It's in his best interest. It's not in his inclination and first preference. But sometimes you have to do things that aren't what you want to do, but it's the right thing to do. And I think that's where he's going to come to his senses and see, this is what I have to do in order for the team to win. And I don't think that he's going to look at it any other way. He's going to realize this must be done. Now, if the situation calls for it, so be it.
Right.
But if there's a way out...
He's got to be smart enough to do that. He just has to. I heard Phil Simms talking about him the other day, and they were asking, do you think he's going to... And he goes, everything that I said about Jackson Dart coming out of college, I was wrong.
In what way?
Because he was real critical.
Really?
He didn't think he had a big arm. He didn't think he was that great of a runner. And then he went through all the reasons why he was wrong. He goes, way more accurate than I thought he was going to be. He goes, he is a super accurate quarterback. And he goes, interestingly, he's a way better runner in the pros than he was at Ole Miss, right? And he went through all these reasons. And I'm like, well, Phil, it's because in the NFL, they play man-to-man. If you get through the first rung of defensive line, there's nobody there. You're going to run better.
Okay.
You're going to run better. But he was very complimentary. If you talk to Eric Kerr, if you talk to Casey Sotera, who's the defense coordinator at Corner Canyon when Jackson was there,
now the head coach,
to the person, they think he's the best leader they've ever been around.
Cool.
Which bodes well for him.
Well, it does.
Because players will play hard for him.
That's the very reason why you have to play smarter. You cannot be reckless.
Yeah.
And he'll understand that. If it's his team, you must be smart and judicious and pick your spots and all that other stuff.
Can I tell a fun,
and I believe he will.
Just a quick Jackson Dart story.
Please do.
So when he was in college, I'm on the phone with him. We're talking. I can't remember what game that he did. I can't remember the game before. He had really pulled one groin on one side earlier in the season, and he was playing with it and like really kind of just like toughing it out because he's a tough guy.
Uh-huh.
The week before Alabama, I can't remember what team they played, but he's playing against this team, and he pulls the other groin just as bad. In fact, there's tears in it, right? So when I'm talking to him, I'm like, well, where are you at? What are you doing? He's like, I'm in the cold tub. I can't even walk. I'm like, you guys have Alabama this week. What are you going to do? And he goes, what do you mean, what am I going to do? And I go, how are you going to play this week? And he goes, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to thug it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then he played in that game, and they were within, like, they got to fourth down. They had 4 shots at the end zone at the end to win, and they didn't win it. But I was just like, and you wouldn't have known that he had these 2 groin problems like he had. I was just like, that was really tough. He's one of the tougher people that I know, and that's why when people tell me that he's going to back it down, I'm like, man, I hope he does. I hope he does. I hope you're right. I hope he's smart enough to do it. I hope all the things that you're saying.
He will.
Man, part of me just says, dude,
that's what a leader does.
He's stubborn about running.
Yeah, but that was then. This is now. His eyes will be opened, and I believe they already are opened. I just hope he wins a title, wins the Super Bowl in the next 2 years so he can go to the White House.
He'd be criticized for that.
I want him right there.
Imagine, yeah.
Front and center.
Yeah. I'm sure you do. Mostly because you'll be able to talk about it for a week of sports radio.
He would be our second Utah high school player to win a Super Bowl.
Who's the first?
Jim McMahon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right. We'll get you some feedback, get you set up for the next show with the coach and Scotty. Stay with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Okay, boys and girls, we were in for a treat just about the whole week. Now, this is true. Riley and I go at it a lot, and we have fun. But when DJ's out, I make one call, and that's all. One call only. And actually, it's just a text, and it is to Riley because I want him in because, Riley, you are an awesome human being. I cherish our friendship. I am dead serious.
Why am I feeling uncomfortable right now?
Well, this is true. This is bro love, one to not known you many years.
All right.
And I want you in here. You're the only guy I want in. And I always go to you first because you do great radio, and it is a blast to have you in here. I appreciate you came in for 4 days this week. DJ doesn't take a lot of time off, but when he does,
I'm here for you.
It's like Dos Equis. I'm not. I don't drink a lot, but when I do, or whatever that commercial is.
Yeah.
But
Tim Lacomb's feeling a little jilted over here, by the way.
Well, Lacombe has his own show now. I'm not going to be calling him. Hey, I got Lacombe the job. He owns me, man. I had to pull some strings on that puppy. So he was a long shot. He ends up winning it. Yeah. So with that in mind, thanks for coming in this week. It has been an absolute blast. And the very next time that DJ is out, I will hit you up again because it's always fun. And plus, too, you're so dang knowledgeable about at this time of year, most especially with football. And you can articulate it. And you've been there. And you know how to speak it. You know how to speak the language that people can understand.
You're speaking my language right now. Stop it some more. Stop it some more.
You give me another 15 minutes to stop.
If you'll stop talking like this a half an hour from now, that'll be just enough.
So it has been a lot of fun this week. And we'll have you on. Obviously, we have you on when the season gets started, and we are just about 4 weeks away from actual game competition. And you talk about how the summer goes fast. The fastest time of year for me is the college football season. I mean, it just blows by, man. Before you know it, it's like you're halfway through, and then it's into November. And I think we're going to have a great college football season here locally. I think the teams are going to be decent. There's going to be storylines. And with Kjar being up at Weber, we're going to pay attention to that a little bit more.
It's like we talked yesterday. This is a football state, man. People love football in the state of Utah.
And that's exciting for me to see the advancements that these other programs have been able to make. You know, as I said, before I moved to the state, I knew about BYU because they're on television and guys were winning awards and whatnot, and they're having big games. But to see Utah come around, and then I got to learn about Utah State and Bronco, having all these guys. I feel like I have relationships with Bronco, Kjar, Morgan, and Kalani.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I've been in this business for a long time, obviously, and I want them all to succeed. Every one of them, all four of them.
It's better. It's better when
it's great for business when they win. Yeah,
and I feel the same way. Like, I love it when there's more good high school football team. Like, the more good teams, the better.
Yeah,
it's the better. It's just better for everyone.
Yeah. Are you going to do a high school football this year?
As far as like
some commentating.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing some with DJ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know he's jumping into that now that he's over here full time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing some of that, and then I think my gig with you guys has always been Wednesday mornings, so I think we're doing that again.
Yeah,
and then lots of fun talking about football all year.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming in. Okay. Appreciate it. All right. Coming up next, we got Scotty and the coach Tim McComb. Stay with us. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.